The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
And we're playing that to commemorate 100 years to the day since some women were allowed to vote. Women over 30 who either owned or were married to men who owned property. Those are the girls, the ladies, the chicks that were allowed to vote. So we're playing a song about a woman being offered just a little fill-in employment. Just hope that makes you feel good, ladies. 0344 499 1000. That noise you can hear? That's a fan. Because it's bloody hot in here, guys. This is the Late Night Alternative. My name is Iain Lee. Who are you?
My name's Catherine Boyle.
You can listen to Talk Radio on DAB. You can download the app, or you can listen to us online at talkradio.co.uk. Hey, and if you're sat at your computers, of course you are, because a computer doesn't necessarily... a computer doesn't necessarily mean, you know, what you imagine. A phone is a computer nowadays, isn't it? A phone is a computer.
In many ways, yes.
Yeah.
In all ways.
So if you're sat by your computer or your phone, what you can do is you can key in the following www.periscope.tv/Iain Lee. IAINLEE is the thing.
You sounded like the future then.
Yep.
Like the future.
Yep. But this cold is really bugging me, man. It's bugging me. Can I tell you what we'll do tonight? Can we do a whole show without any swears in. Now, that'll be easy for me, but Catherine, can you... I have a bar of Imperial leather, if you'd like to go...
Don't, because you know that happened to me.
What happened to you in Imperial
I had
leather?
to eat soap when I was a kid.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, it wasn't even for an A-grade swear. I should have made it worth it.
What was it you said?
I'm not going to say.
Here's the thing, right? My mum...
Caught out again.
And I'm going to record my mum telling this story, right? She talks about it when she was about... Well, she was probably about 12, and so my aunt was about 10, right? And this would be like 1960, 61 or something, right? And I didn't know this. 0344 499 1000, by the way. My mum convinced my aunt, who was younger than her, to stand at the end of the path on the street outside their house and scream at the top of her voice the C word.
Wow!
The C word.
Straight to the C word.
Yeah. And Grandad Bill came out, their dad, and gave Pat a clout round the head. And Pat said, no, Linda told me to say it. He gave her another clap, saying, your sister doesn't know words like that. Wow. Isn't that outrageous? The C word in 1961. Something, that's incredible. I'll record my mum telling that story, and when I play it, if you could pretend you haven't heard it.
The soap I got was for a different C word, but for the mild C word that you often hear on the television these days.
Really?
I didn't have to eat it, I just got it rubbed on my teeth. My mum told me I was lucky because she and her sister had half a bar each.
Could you taste your own lips?
Couldn't taste anything.
Oh. I've got a throat spray, which I'll be using later on. I've got this cold, and I've been in bed all day, and I had a headache, so I thought I'd try and get rid of it by playing video games. That didn't work. If anything, it made it worse.
I haven't seen that in any medical journals.
No, I know. I'm one for advancing my own scientific theories.
Right.
And I got this sore throat, and I'm bunged up, and I'm snotty, and oh man alive, it's just. So I'm struggling, but we're gonna get. I've got no material for the show today. It's a real just like buzzkill vibe out there in the office. A real buzzkill vibe. We didn't really want to watch TV. We watched The Good Place, and it wasn't funny. And we went and sat in my car for half an hour and watched The Good Place, didn't we?
Yeah, that was quite funny.
I worked out we could pony off the Wi-Fi here in the car, plug it in, use my phone, plug it into the my surround sound 3D 5.1 Dolby speaker system, and have virtual surround sound.
It was quite magical. The sound was great. The vision, small.
It was a telephone.
Yeah.
A computer, if you will, a small pocket computer. So we did that, and then I thought, actually, this is silly. We should go back upstairs. But then what I'm trying to say is, I'm struggling to create the vibe tonight. I've not got the magic that we've had before. So I think what we're going to do, is we're going to have no swearing today. No swearing on the show, okay? It should be a piece of Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So no swearing. But what we're going to do is this is what we're going to do. We're going to do phone-in family favourites. Okay, we're going to do phone-ins, and I just thought of that, and it sounds like I've had that for a long time. I've not. I've just thought of this. Phone-in family favourites.
What does that mean, Ian?
We're going to play phone-in family favourites tennis, right? Okay, I'll go first. So these are genuine things that you can phone in about, okay? So we'll do 6, so we'll do 3 each, okay?
Yeah, go on.
So, from me, what's your favourite sandwich filling? For me, I like a strong cheddar and Hellmann's mayonnaise. Well, that's my favourite. What's yours? 0344 499 1000.
Okay.
Phone in family favourites.
Okay. Here we go. Who is your favourite grandparent?
Ooh.
We've all got one. That's why he's your favourite, or she's your favourite.
Can I make an addendum to that?
No. Yeah.
And why?
Well, that goes without saying, Ian.
Well,
but thanks very much, because some of the listeners are a little dim.
Who's your grandparent?
And why?
And why? Because they just phoned up and said, Nana Louise, thanks for calling.
I'd be happy with that.
Did you just fart then?
No, I did a funny mouth noise.
From your bum?
No.
0344 499 1000. Okay.
I believe it's your turn.
Yeah, it is. It's 2018, Okay.
Yeah.
And
Is that the phone in?
things have phoned in a lot. Things have changed a lot and moved on a lot, okay? We've got a lady Doctor Who. I put forward the theory it's time we had a black bond.
Oh, I thought it had to be something with a favourite in it.
No, of course not. No, it's with the phone-in family favourites.
I've misunderstood the
It's
whole
just-
concept.
It's classic phone-in topics.
Oh.
Classic phone-in topics. That's what it is.
Oh.
You can, but okay.
I thought classic phone-in topics was tomorrow.
No.
This is
Okay.
phone-in family
Okay.
favourites.
Who? Okay, all right. We'll put favourite in then.
Yeah.
Who would be your favourite black bond?
Yes.
Who would be your favourite black bond?
Can
And
I make a suggestion?
If anyone calls in and says Idris Elba, you're banned for 6 months.
No, I'm going to say Sir Lenworth of Henworth.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Because not only he's black, but
Yep.
also he's older, and I think it's about time we smashed the old ceiling.
Well, he smashed the...
No.
03444991000. Okay, your
My
turn.
turn.
Your turn.
Okay.
Doesn't actually have to have the word favourite in it.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
The phones are going mental
Here
for
we
this,
go.
by the way.
Here we go.
When I
Here
say
we-
mental, I mean we've got one mental person on the line. No offence, Jonathan.
Hello?
Yeah, we go. Okay.
What's your favourite piece of clothing?
Favourite piece of clothing.
And why?
There we go. You okay?
Okay. And I'm thinking it may be something that your partner hates.
Can I make an addendum? I would drop the why from that one. I just get them to tell us their favourite piece of clothing and then hang up. That
Okay.
works.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
but it might just work.
All right. Okay.
How many are we on to now?
We got 4. We want
Two each.
Two more. We'll do one more each.
Okay.
Okay. 03444991000. Okay. So far, favourite sandwich filling. Who's your favourite grandparent and why? Who would be your favourite black bond? Favourite piece of clothing? Should we bring back the death penalty? And what would be your favourite way of killing nonces?
And why?
What? Why the hell not? Should we bring...
And why not?
And why not? Should we
And
bring
why
back the death penalty? So that's like sort of on its own, but then it carries on. Should we bring back the death penalty? But that's not the end of the sentence. ... And what's your favourite way of? What would be your favourite way of killing nonces? And why not? What would be your way of killing
I've got a brilliant one.
nonces?
Not a way of killing
Okay.
nonsense, but a brilliant suggestion.
Okay, go on then.
What was your favourite time?
What was your favourite time? There we go. These are great. Okay, guys, so this is it. This is what we're doing tonight. We're doing phone-in family favourites. 03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. These are the
You better
ones we've
make
got
sure
so
you've
far.
damn well got an answer.
These are the tops. These are the 6 we've got now. By 1 o'clock, we're going to have 50 family phone-in favourites. We're going to have 50. I nearly said 60 there, so I'm going to say it. We're going to have 60.
Oh, gosh.
So these are the ones so far. Your favourite sandwich filling. Who is your favourite grandparent and why? Who would be your favourite black bond? Favourite piece of clothing? Then put the phone down. Should we bring back the death penalty? And what would be your favourite way of killing nonces and why not? And what was your favourite time? 03444991000 is the telephone number. I get your call in quick. Because only 2 people have called in, and if no one else calls in, we might sack it off and go home early. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Experience the unconventional.
Hello?
The unpredictable.
Don't you think that's a bit weird?
And the completely unorthodox.
It was my birthday.
With rule-free Iain Lee.
I was just trying to generate a bit of content.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Hate alarm clock, hate going to work.
On Talk Radio.
Hey, the phones have gone, well, we've got 4. 0344 4991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Let's go to Sarah. Good evening, Sarah.
Hiya.
Hiya.
All right, that'll do.
That's my voice is, my nose is bunged up, my voice is bunged up, my everything is bunged up. No
Well.
swearing. Sarah, what of what was this feature called? Phone-in family favourites. Would you like to answer? You can answer as many or as little as you want.
I've had a bit of a rubbish day, so this is going to cheer me up.
Here we go. Great.
First one,
Yeah.
sandwiches, yeah?
Yeah,
Sandwich filling. Ready salted crisps, Marmite, and loads of butter.
Now, of course, listen. Only tell us about the butter or margarine content if there's none in it, because you've got to slather that yellow stuff all over.
That's what sticks a sandwich together, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like the butter or the margarine is like the juice.
Yes.
It's like the juice. But I'm a margarine fan because butter is such a faff.
Oh, no.
Such a faff.
Not Marge,
No, you put it in the microwave, don't you?
No.
Slightly.
It's but this is why I like margarine so much, is because they put plastic in it. That's why it's so spreadable, because it actually has plastic in it.
Yum yum. What was the second
I'm
one?
quite late as well. I used to laugh at my friends that put crisps in their sandwiches, but
Why?
because I thought they were weird. And I still don't do it myself, but I do like it when you go somewhere and you order a sandwich, and they think they're being posh by putting a dozen crisps on the plate as well. But I won't put them in the sandwich.
Why?
I thought it was posh putting them in the sandwich.
Oh, so posh. So posh, Sarah.
It's not.
I know.
It's not that. I tell you what. I could eat now, right? And this is a sandwich, and I don't think this has ever been done before. And I would do this.
Go on.
A roast dinner sandwich. Not a roast beef sandwich, not a roast chicken sandwich, a roast dinner sandwich. So what you do...
With or without gravy?
Oh, no, well, this is how I would do it, is you put gravy on it, right, and you'd have the roast, the Brussels, the potatoes, a bit of lamb...
You need to slice those Brussels.
No. This is what I suggest you do, is then I suggest you put it in a blender...
Oh, no.
Blend it up,
No.
puree it...
No.
I remember when I was young, I said in the 70s, right, one Christmas at my aunt's, there was a baby there, one of my cousins. A baby, right? So it's less than 1 year old. It had been born that year. And on Christmas Day, they blended up a Christmas dinner and pureed it for a baby. But the salt! Think of the salt that's in there.
I have had blended roast dinner because I had my jaw broken.
But were you a baby?
No.
You don't break a baby's jaw. What kind of life are you leading?
I would then market that puree. Do you remember the fish paste you used to get?
Yeah, Shippums.
In tiny, tiny little tubs. Why were they so tiny?
Because it stank.
Well, I would market roast dinner juice. I would market roast dinner juice
Paste.
and you could heat it up if you wanted, or you could just spread it cold. Oh, beautiful!
No, heat it up in a sandwich. That's weird. But then the whole process is the whole thing we talk about is a bit weird. But
Before we go on, I've just had an idea. Instead of bread, 2 slices of Yorkshire pudding.
Have you seen the Yorkshire pudding pizzas they're doing now?
Yeah, Google it. It looks absolutely disgusting, but yet wonderful at the same time. That's a great idea, by the way, Catherine.
Yorkshire pudding.
That is a great idea. Does anybody, when was the last time you saw an actual human being making a Yorkshire pudding? I remember it was a nightmare every Sunday. And my mum would make the small Yorkshire puddings, and they were all right, but then we'd go to my nan's and she'd make the big one, and they tasted rank. But it's just Aunt Bessie's now, isn't it? No one makes Yorkshire puddings anymore.
My sister does, but she's from Yorkshire.
Yeah,
so.
no
I've made them, but it's a big faff. It's a big faff.
My other favourite thing is dunking chips into ice cream. I know it's a bit mental, but...
It's not
a bit
actually,
weird,
because you eat chips with milkshake, don't you?
Yeah.
Same thing.
You know what? Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I feel a bit more normal now. So the second one, was that... What was that? Was that the black Idris Elba?
No, who's your favourite grandparent and why?
Oh, it's not Idris Elba. Oh, I can't do that one. Mine are dead. So back to the James Bond.
Did you not like any of them?
Yeah.
Go on.
My grandma Alice, she was lovely.
And why?
And I miss her so much. Because she was very prim and proper, everything I'm not. And she made the best homemade sausage rolls. And I've never had a sausage roll like she's ever made.
That's a good enough reason.
Number 3, who would be your favourite Black Bond?
I've got 2. I've got 3. Can I have 3? Is that greedy?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Have 3. Trevor McDonald.
Yep.
Yes.
Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
Because he's like the fittest man in the planet. And Idris Elba.
No.
Right, cut her off. We're not having that. Jamie's tweeted accidental partridge, because I've typed up the topics for the show.
Jamie.
Accidental partridge, there's a whole thread about to pop up here for you, and I've replied, except it's not accidental. So
Accidental smart ass.
So he's replied. Oh. He's replied, "My God." So I've just said, mate, I don't think you get the show. I don't think you get the show. Sometimes I do some accidental partridges, and I'm if I get called out on it, great. But here's the thing: more often than not, when I say something that sounds like Alan Partridge or sounds a bit, I know what I'm doing. There's no accidental. So thanks, Jamie. Thanks for listening. Ah, dearie me. Let's go to Jonathan. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening,
Jonathan. Which of our fantastic family fave phone-ins have you called in about?
Well, I've got a way of getting rid of nonces.
Okay.
What we should do is that we should release them in the middle of the countryside.
Yes.
Give them a 20-minute head start,
right.
And then send men on horseback and hounds after them.
I think maybe we should drop the nonces part from the phone in, as I think this could get a little bit...
you think?
I think it might do. So, what should we... Well,
who are we going to execute instead?
OK, fine. OK, that sounds like a fair enough deal, Jonathan. Who was your favourite grandparent and why?
Tony Blair murdered my favourite grandmother.
Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister?
Yeah.
I should just say, for legal reasons... I don't think Tony Blair went round to your nan's house, with a carving knife. I suggest you're going to imply that it was one of his policies or a combination of his policies that led to her death. Why was she your favourite, and why?
She was the only one who put up with
me. I'm sorry she's... Well, grandparents die, unfortunately, don't they? That's the thing. It'd be nice to spend a bit more time with them, but there you go. OK, was there anything else?
Oh, what about a bond?
No. Let's not even go there. Was there anything else, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about something that a few people, such as myself, have seen coming on the horizon for a little while now.
OK, is it the control of the media by the Jewish population?
No.
OK.
It's the next recession.
Yes.
I've seen this coming for a couple of years now, and there was a guy from Australia called Milton on the Howard Hughes show about 18 months ago, saying that there would be an economic collapse beginning around May.
Was he an economist or a necromancer?
Neither.
Oh.
OK. Well, so that's coming up in May. So what are you saying? We should spend now?
No, what I'm saying is that the economy is being deliberately imploded in order to get rid of President Trump.
OK. Because there was a massive... All right, OK, because there was a massive tumble in the stock exchange, both here and in America. Well, no, that's nonsense. Surely if there is... Right, because only a few days ago, Trump was saying... that there was a huge, the stock exchange... Is it the Dow Jones in it? No, what's the one in America? All right, say the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones was way up, and it was his policies that were doing it, and, this proves that he's a great leader, and America will be, let's make America great again, and he was saying it's all down to him, right? So, when it tumbles, as it has done today, massively... Yeah, I listen to Radio 4 sometimes. Then he also has to accept responsibility. And all of the Trump supporters have to accept responsibility.
No, we don't, for the simple reason that I saw this recession coming 10 years ago.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
How did you see this coming 10 years ago? Please don't tell me Nostradamus.
No, it wasn't Nostradamus. The worst thing we could have ever done was bail out the banks in 2008.
Right.
We should have let them all go to the wall.
Okay.
It would have been an 18-month depression, but at the end of that, we would have been a much stronger, healthier economy.
There might actually be some people that would agree with that. But so when we had the recession 10 years ago, how did you predict that there will be another one 10 years hence?
Because whenever governments bail out banks, They're kicking the can further down the road. We shouldn't be using taxpayers' money to bail out private institutions for their own malfeasance and incompetence. We should let them go to the wall.
Well, hang on a minute, because actually some of what you're saying makes sense. But if we'd have let them go to the wall, then you would have lost. You probably don't have money in the bank, but I would have lost money. My mum would have lost money. Everyone would have lost money. So they had to bail them out to save our money. Now, admittedly, that it could be argued that people who worked in the banks and who, some of the people at the top should have faced trial. And as we know, how many people faced trial and went to prison? I think it was one, wasn't it? Yeah. So loads of them should have gone to prison, and they should have brought in, kind of things to curtail this behaviour. And of course, it's pretty inevitable. It's going to happen again because the same mistakes are being made. But if Donald Trump, to go back to your original point, has said that the rise in the Dow Jones is down to him, then he has to accept that this tumble has happened on his watch, and he's responsible.
He's not responsible because this crash was set in motion by Bush and Obama and the central banks bailing out the banks when they should have let them go to the wall. Yes, people would have lost savings, but as I learned as a kid studying the Great Depression, putting your money in a bank is not a guarantee that you're going to get that money back at the end. Your money can go down as well as
No. If your money's If your money is in a bank account, then the very least you can expect is to get the same amount of money out that you put in. That's how banks work. I mean, I back in the old days.
That's how they're meant to work.
No. Back in the old days, you'd get interest, and you hopefully you put some money in, and 10 years later you'd have a bit more money. But the way banks work, the way banks should work, the banking on the high street side of the banks is, you go in. You put 500 quid in, and you come back any day in the future, and you've still got 500 quid there.
Yes, I understand how it works in theory. In practice, however, banking collapses do happen. And if you put your money in a bank, there is no guarantee you will be able to get it out at a later date. You may lose it.
No. Except there is a guarantee that you'll get your money out the same. You'll be able to get your money out because it's protected.
It's not protected.
No, it is protected. It is protected up to it was. Was it 25 grand in an account was protected, and then they put it up? Because I remember when my mum had more than that, so I went in and put it into 3 different banks. It's protected up to a certain amount, yeah.
I understand what you're saying legally about the minimum threshold, but economics doesn't recognise the law. Economics has its own laws, and if the laws of economics decide there's no money, then there is no money. If you want to create money, you're creating inflation.
Well, you've lost me now. But thanks for calling, Jonathan.
Thank you.
A lot of what he says makes sense.
Yes.
A lot of what he says makes sense, but then a lot of it doesn't. But I enjoyed that.
Then he gets to the point where he just says, well, it'll happen anyway.
No, it's not.
Tough.
No, that's not what he said.
Why are you saying that, when it comes to money, we can't win?
No, well, we can't win when it comes to money. The capitalist system is flawed, and is lousy. The whole thing hangs by a thread.
But do you think really it's going to implode? It's being done on purpose to make Trump look bad? That's absolute bullshit.
No, I don't believe that for a second. But the capitalist system is flawed. From what little I know about it, because I don't really understand these things. But it's all an illusion. It's all this money that sloshes around isn't real. It's all computer generated, and the whole thing depends on 8-year-old boys in China and Vietnam making phones for us. That's what it's all based on. And do you know what? I have a weird. I've never told anyone this. I'm going to try and explain this power I have. Okay, and see if anybody at home has this power as well. Right? I have. It's not a gift. It's more like a curse. And this is a true thing. Okay. And I can see you smirking, and that's fine, because
I'm waiting for
you smirk away.
I will.
I can see that. All right, how am I going to put this into words? Because this is going to sound nuts. I'm just going to say it because for me, this is a safe space. I can see that this whole world we're living in is an illusion, okay, and that none of this is real, and that everything we believe in, like society and law and government and all of these things, they only exist because we all agree that they exist.
Yeah, they're concepts.
They're concepts, and if there was like a tiny pinprick into the balloon of our reality, then these concepts would collapse. And what I'm saying is, I can look out of my eyes and I can see all of these fake constructs and concepts that we build our world on. I can see them collapsing, and then we're all screwed. That's what I'm saying, and I can see it happening. And sometimes it's like, oh, it's about to happen, and then it doesn't. It's just a breath away.
Would we all be screwed though?
Yeah. And then sometimes, yes,
it might be better.
No. It'll be anarchy. Anarchy is not, it's a fun thing to joke about, but it's
people have to organise themselves. So maybe something better.
Well, here you go. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Well, all right, you're arguing like Jonathan now.
Could you get fed up?
Well, people would organise themselves, but in groups of like 10. They wouldn't be organising themselves. Put these two together, Sam. They wouldn't be organising themselves, once the infrastructure collapses. Man, this is heavy. And this acid I took in 96 is kicking in. I didn't take any acid in... no, I did, actually. What a trip, man. Once it collapses, that's it. You can't then rebuild. Right? Okay. God, we need laws. We need a government. That's it. It's gone. It's gone. And then it's anarchy. And then you'll have like. You might have a street that bands together, and they have at the end, the end of each end of the street. That street is governed by their own rules and their own laws. You might have a household that has its own rules. You might have a village that has its own rules. But that's as big as it'll get.
Yeah, but then when you've got that, the biggest one will start taking over the others, and so the others will realise they've got to band together. That'll be exciting.
No, but it wouldn't. It would be horrendous. There would be rape.
What?
There would be murder.
Why?
Because it's lawlessness. Because it's anarchy. The Sex Pistols have got a lot to answer for. They made anarchy sound really cool, right? And if you listen to the lyrics of Anarchy in the UK, Johnny Rotten's. Have you heard the lyrics of Anarchy in the UK? His description of anarchy is. Let me play it. Let me play it because it's funny, man. I remember hearing it as a kid and thinking, well, that doesn't sound very anarchic. Hang on a minute. Anarchy in.
What is it like? Not tidying your room.
It's
kicking bins over.
It's more silly than that. All right, listen to this. I mean, it's a great song, right? But listen. Right. And you got to remember that when. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, it's that. You've got to remember, when this came out in, I guess, 76, 77, this song was banned, it terrified people, and they were really scared of this. But this is all they would, if you listen to it, it's just... It's a great song, but...
I am an anti-coaster.
Okay,
I am an anarchoaster.
There we go.
Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want to destroy passerby.
All right, because that's quite a tough one. I want to destroy passerby. So just one. He doesn't want to destroy everyone. He wants to destroy passerby. Okay.
Right.
I wanna be anarchy.
Okay.
He means anarchic.
Yep.
No dog's body.
No dog's body.
Anarchy for the youth.
Here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Coming sometime, and maybe
This is what it'll be like.
I give a wrong time, stop a traffic line. Your future gleam.
Give the wrong time, stop a traffic line. That's what he's doing. That's his description of anarchy. Have a listen.
Naughty.
Have a listen.
Okay, it's coming sometime, and maybe I
Give a wrong time, stop a traffic line. That's all he's talking about. Now, and that has been terrible, because now everyone thinks anarchy is just... What time is it? 3:15? Well, it's not. What time is it? 20 to 5. What time is it? 10:30.
As he presses the crossing button.
Unfortunately, anarchy would be rape and murder and...
nicking tellies.
I don't know what pillaging is.
Pillaging is just general, kicking bins over and nicking televisions.
Pillaging.
Yeah.
Okay, pillaging. So that would be anarchy. So we wouldn't want it.
Okay, maybe it's not fun.
On that bombshell, we'll take a break. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
It's electric, it's eclectic, it's always rule-free. It's the late-night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. On Talk Radio.
So many calls. Let's do them in the order that they appear on my screen. Good evening, Danette.
Hello.
How are you doing?
How are you? Well, thank you. Do you know, first of all, I'm not voting for Idris, but do you know where his name comes from? Do you know what it means?
Let me see if we can work this out. Idris
Elba. Do you know where his name comes from?
I'm going to say it's Egyptian, because it sounds like ISIS, and I'm not talking about the terrorist organisation. I'm talking about the
related to ISIS, but it's actually from the Book of Enoch in the Bible.
Oh. Is it related to ISIS, then?
No.
Are you on speakerphone?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask you is,
Yes.
What happened to Don Warrington?
He's still around, isn't he? Was he the guy in Rising Damp?
Yes.
Yeah. I was sat on a table opposite him at an awards do, but now that was probably about 12 years ago. Don Warrington. He's still around. I think he does. What do they call them? The things that aren't plays. I think he does plays sort of around the country.
Okay, because he used to be my favourite in Rising Damp.
Shall I do my Rigsby impression?
Please.
Yeah, Miss Jones. Miss Jones, what's home? It's not bad. It's not bad, is it? No, Miss Jones. It's not bad, is it?
Not at all.
Thank
Very
you.
funny.
Thank you.
But I have no other ideas.
Who was your favourite grandparent, and why?
I never knew my grandparents.
Did you not?
No, never had grandparents.
Oh, well, may I ask why not? Did they pass away before you...
My mother was born in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And when my grandfather went to fetch her and her baby, the mother had disappeared, never to be seen again. That was in Cape Town.
Hang on. So hang on. Your mum was born in a nursing home.
Yes.
And her biological dad.
Yes.
Went to collect the baby, but the mother disappeared.
Well, there was no mother there. She left.
That's incredible.
The only reason we know she was French is because she left a note that said, if this is married life, you can have it. Au revoir.
Flipping heck. Well, that must have been devastating to your granddad.
Yes, he had one leg, and he married 6 times after that. But he never found anyone to be a real mother.
He had 7 wives and 1 leg.
6, yes.
Well, stop. Hang on. Was he not married to the mother?
Yes, but she quit.
But then you said he married 6 times after that, or 5 times?
5 times.
5 times. Sorry, 5 times. Gosh, what a story. What a story.
My father was born in Balham.
Yeah.
And all I know is that his mother had 38 cats, and she wrote a book of poetry.
Yes.
I know nothing else about her, and my father despised cats.
Wow, I mean, there's so many numbers. Freud would have a field day. What was the book of poetry called?
I have no idea.
Wow. Have you not tried to find it?
I've tried, but I can't. I mean, it's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, but was it published?
I don't know.
Aye.
I know she was hanging around King's Cross at the time. So, anyway.
Well, it just every time I go to say thanks for calling goodbye, you just throw another nugget onto the table. She was She was a sex worker.
I don't know. She was married to my grandfather, and he worked at, I think, in Lancaster Gate, Portland, the steam bars. He was a masseur there.
Okay, wow.
That's all I know, but we never met.
That's quite a lot, I'll be honest, Annette. That's quite a lot to know. It's more than I know about my grandparents, sadly.
Wow.
Well, thank you for that.
Where are yours?
Sorry?
Where are yours?
They're dead.
Yeah, well, mine are also dead.
I guessed, yeah.
Did you not meet them?
Yeah, I did. But they kind of... My grandparents on my dad's side, I kind of fell out with my dad when I was about 15, and so I made the foolish decision to cut that side of my family out. So I never saw my grandparents on that side again, and that I regret that so much. And then with my grandparents on my mum's side, they died quite a while ago, but I didn't... I just didn't think they were going to die ever, so I never took full advantage of them. I didn't exploit them, and I mean that word in the truest sense. I didn't exploit them as much as I should have done, really, and that's another regret.
Life is full of regrets.
It is, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you, Danette. Always a pleasure. Ta-ta.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I noticed you kept quiet there.
She doesn't like me.
No, she doesn't like you.
It's fine.
Because you're nearly as old as her. That was some call, though, huh? Wasn't it?
I don't believe a word of it.
Oh, no, don't. I like Danette. I know
you do.
I like Danette.
Get a room.
What's the oldest that... Right, imagine a young virile person, like not at the peak of their sexual abilities, because that's like 17, right? And I don't even want to go there. Let's say 25. Okay, so it's an adult man, right? Start with a man. He's an adult man. He's sexually he's fit. He's fit, and he can make his own decisions. Okay, so there's no.
You're about to paint a very weird scenario. Yeah. What you're trying to do is make it less weird.
Yeah, there's no hint of coercion or grooming or manipulation. What is the... And both sides are compliant in this, right? Okay? Both sides want it. Not compliant, they want it. What is the oldest that a... And we're going to start with a man. What is the oldest that a 25-year-old man could legally, ethically... and physically have sex with a woman? What is the oldest woman? I don't want to name, but what age could a 25-year-old man legally, whatever the second one was, legally, morally, and physically have sex with? Let's start low. 65. Easy. That's easy. That would work.
Here's my rule.
Yeah?
You take the age gap.
Yeah.
Then you put the younger person at the age the older person is now.
Yes.
Keep the age gap.
Yeah.
Is the older person still alive?
Well, no, they're dead.
Then you shouldn't be having sex with them.
But sometimes love happens. Have you never seen... what's that film with Harold and Maude? You never seen Harold and Maude?
No, I haven't.
I didn't like it. I thought it was weird. Okay, so 65. Fine. A lot of fit 65-year-olds out there. 70? Well, why not? It's only 5 years more than 65. It's only 5... So we're up to 70. So suddenly a 25-year-old man is having sex with a 70-year-old woman.
Oh, God, no.
Okay, fine.
No.
Well, then how about 75? Whoa. But if they're in love, physically could it work? And I don't want... I want both of them to have pleasure. I want both of them to be pleasured.
Oh, God.
And I don't want anyone to die.
Well, someone's going to die, and it's going to be the older person, isn't it?
In the act of sex. 80, he's pushing it. He would have to.
Stop it.
OK, fine, let's reverse it.
This is wrong. They're older than your parents, it's wrong.
What's wrong with love? What is wrong with love. So all we're talking about here is
what you
love.
get right. Here's the thing.
Yes.
I have got absolutely nothing in common with a 25-year-old. Nothing.
You're not going to talk
I'm 40 years old, right?
Yes.
Oh, right, we're just talking about... Right, we're not talking about having a relationship with someone. Well, if it's love, then you're supposed to be able to talk to each other, aren't you?
All right, let's make it easier. So the woman is 85 now, and she meets this younger man, and we have to assume a bit for this to work, right? Let's assume the Buddhists are right and reincarnation happens, right? And
that's a big assumption.
I know, but just to move things along a bit. So she's 85, he's 25,
and a goat.
But they can prove... No, he's a man. But they can prove... Talk about old women having sex with goats. They can
We're
prove...
talking about reincarnation.
They can prove that it's her dead husband, Walter, in the young stud, Stefan. So can Dottie, at 85, legally, yes, morally, well, it's her husband, physically, this products you can buy, have intercourse with a 25-year-old man? Okay, so... Then we do it the other way round. You've got a 25-year-old woman. Again, everyone is willing in this. There's nothing...
You've thought about this before?
A lot. There's nothing nefarious going on. What age... Again, the three rules are legally, morally and physically. Legal shouldn't even be in it. 65... 25, it happened. 60. Des O'Connor had a baby at 72, so that's our starting point, 72. OK, well, 75 is only 3 years up. Sure, fine. 80, can men get an erection at 80?
I don't want to know.
At 80? Just think about it. Think about an 80-year-old man.
No thanks.
Can he get an erection at 80? You'd have to be careful with Viagra because heart condition. I'm pointing to the centre of my chest because that's where the heart is. It's not on the left. So there's so much to think about.
I don't want to think about it.
Give us your thoughts on it. We'll be thinking about that a lot tonight. 03444 99 1000. Good evening, Angela.
Good evening, Ian. Catherine, you all right?
I'm not all right, but carry on.
But carry on. You know what you were talking about before the news?
No.
The break, or what?
The what? Yeah.
The break, I should say. About me not... You don't think we're supposed to be here? We're not here.
Yeah.
But I've got another question for you.
Okay, go on, let's do it.
Well,
we are totally red pilling the audience tonight, guys. The red pill is being forced down your gullets.
Well, you know when we go to sleep at night?
Yes.
Do you reckon we go into another reality?
No, I think we stay in our beds, don't we?
No, do you know what I mean? Do you reckon we go... You know, you said we might not be here. We don't exist, but if we dream, do you reckon we go somewhere else?
Well, okay. Well, physically we're still here because I've seen people sleep.
And me.
I've not seen you sleep, no. Mentally, you're suggesting that our consciousness leaves this realm and possibly... enters another dimension.
Yes.
Another dimension where you go to work with no pants on.
No, you'll have clothes on, but you can sort of imagine you probably have something different on.
I wonder if there's ever been a recorded example, and there must have been, of like, I go to sleep, I have a doze in the afternoon, right? And it'll be like night time in Brazil, and then a Brazilian man is having a sleep, and then we meet in... Because you meet so many people in your dreams, don't you? You must have met a real person in your dreams that you've never met in real life. Whoa! That is it. That's a thought. Let me just say that again for the heart of thinking. That you meet so many people in your dreams, you must have, at some point, Angela, met a real person in your dreams that you've never met in real life.
I did the other night.
Here we go! What are the chances? Go on, what happened?
Well, I was I think it was just because it was with the radio, but I met this guy, and he was in this amazing car, and he was waving to me.
It's hardly Martin Luther King dreams, but...
But because I listen to Dot and Anna Bio at night time on the station.
Paul Ross on this station. I mean? Paul Ross at this station at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
yep.
But he wasn't in my dream, but there was something similar like that, and I was trying to wake up because I was in like a village kind of thing. Yes. But he was waving to me as if he knew me. Yep. This person did, but I didn't know them. But he was in this lovely car.
Angela, thank you for sharing that special moment with us.
Could you, what do you reckon that is then?
I reckon you should turn up at the studios of BBC London and demand to meet your future husband, Dotun Adebayo.
He's already married.
Well, that can be arranged.
He is now.
Thank you very much, Angela. 03444. We are touching some deep stuff tonight. This is heavy. We got Guy, we got Richard, Paul, Kadir and Andre. We'll come to you in a bit. This is a heavy show tonight, guys. It started off as fun, can still be fun, can also be heavy. I'm Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative, only here on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Why did we decide to take this decision to you?
Thanks, guys. 03444991000 is the telephone number. The Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee. Catherine Boyle is there.
Hi.
You're listening to us on DAB. Maybe you've downloaded the Talk Radio app, or perhaps you're online at talkradio.co.uk. However you've got here, you're very, very welcome. Let's go to Barry. Good evening, Barry.
How's it going, Ian?
It's going... well, it's all right. I've got a sore throat, but apart from that, I'm doing all right,
You barely mentioned it, Barry.
Yep. Sore throat myself, mate.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
I was going to call in to do that family favourites thing.
Oh, yeah, go on. Which one do you want? Let me go through them again. We've got 6 questions. We'll have 60 by the end of the show. Number 1, is your favourite sandwich filling? Number 2, who's your favourite grandparent and why? 3, who would be your favourite black Bond? 4, your favourite piece of clothing, then put the phone down. 5, should we bring the death penalty back, and what would be your favourite way of killing nonces and why not? 6, what was your favourite time?
All right. My favourite time... 9 o'clock was good. And,
AM or PM, please? AM or PM?
9 o'clock PM.
Thank you. Why was it so good?
The missus went to bed and I could get on the streams for a little bit.
Yay! So what? Hang on.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? You're playing video games at 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Mate, you got to love it. What are you playing at the moment?
I'm just playing a little bit of Worms that I got. I've just finished that Everybody's Golf. I've got loads to go for it.
You're living the dream. Well, I hope you all subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/rabbithole, where I am becoming
I didn't realise you was on YouTube, Ian.
Mate, I'm on YouTube, and I'm quitting this job to become a professional gamer. And I stream me playing video games. And here's the fun thing, guys. I went and bought a camera today for my PlayStation, so you guys will be able to see my face while I'm playing.
Just your face. You're going to put some clothes on.
Nice one, Ian.
I'm going to... Well, you're going to see my face on my shoulders, but I won't have trousers on. I don't wear trousers in the flat. Because it's so hot in there and I can't work out the heating. So, I might boot that up when I get home and have a little go on Overwatch at 2 o'clock this morning. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, Sandy. If you ever get UFC 3 or Everybody's Golf, Ian, give us a shout.
All right, mate.
I'm on your friends list.
Are you? Who are you on there?
Laid back Bazmach.
Oh, dude. All right, well, if you see me online playing those games, come and invite me in.
I will do, Ian. Nice one for taking a call, mate.
Cheers,
shout
fella.
out to the Brexit boys.
Brexit boys. You're doing a shout-out to the Brexit boys?
Yeah.
Good for you, Barry. Nice one, mate.
Nice one, Ian. See you later, mate.
I'm going to take him off my friends list.
Brexit boys. They sound like a fun gang.
The Brexit boys. Let's go to Guy. Good evening, Guy.
Good evening, Kath. Good evening, Ian.
Hey,
Good evening, Guy.
correct order.
Oh, I've got to say hello to Paul the cabbie, right? Because I was walking off. I had to go to Harley Street today to see my psychiatrist. And this cab driver pulled up in the middle. So I'm chewing a cough switch. This cab driver pulled up in the middle of the road, went, "Oh, Ed! Hey, Ed!" And I assumed it was from the jungle.
Was he that cheeky one that pulled up outside that time?
I assumed he recognised me from the jungle. He went, "I'll be listening to you tonight. Tell Kath I love her." I went, "Get out of here, you weirdo. You bloody weirdo." And he drove off.
He knows.
He drove off. So, hello, what did I say his name was?
Paul the cabbie.
Paul the cabbie. It's probably something like that. It was a working man's name. So, like Paul or Terry or something. No, it was Paul. And it was funny because no one recognises me for the radio show. They recognise me for the nonsense I did. But he loves you. So
exquisite taste.
There you go. Guy, what you got for us tonight, please, sir?
Oh, well, I was going to answer a few of your family favourite questions.
Shall I fire them at you?
Yeah, sure.
Number one, your favourite sandwich filling?
This one's a bit weird. Chicken mayonnaise with stuffing and flaming hot Monster Munch.
Oh.
No, that works. I can see that working. That's not weird at all.
Yeah, actually, the Monster Munch peps it up a little bit. It could be quite bland otherwise,
It's there.
couldn't it?
Who's your favourite grandparent and why?
For some reason, I don't know why, but my parents identified my grandparents by location. So my nana in Kettering is my favourite, and mainly because she was a cat lady, and whenever we used to go and visit her, she always had lots of cats.
So hang on a second, and this is funny, right? This is a really interesting thing. This is what we can do as well. What were your grandparents called and why? And I'll tell you why. Because I had a Nanny Peg, this is on my dad's side, Nanny Peg and Grandad Jock, right? And so her name, I only found out recently that Peg is short for Margaret.
Yes.
And Jock everyone called him Jock. So Nanny Peg and Grandad Jock.
What was his actual name?
I've got no idea. Jack, I guess? I don't know. But that was what everyone called them, right? So that was their names. That was their first names, right? And I'm sure I remember... And then on the other side, my mum's side, I had Grandad Bill, and their last name was Jennings. And Nan was known as Nanny Jennings, right? And I'm sure I remember overhearing my mum saying at some point that Nanny Jennings was really angry or was disappointed that she wasn't Nanny Joan.
Oh.
And that she was Nanny Jennings. And it's that weird thing. It's like, but my boy's grandmother on my wife's side is Yaya, because that's Greek for grandmother, so it's just Yaya. And on my side, it's Nanny Linda. And and are you saying, Guy, that your grandparents' names, it was where they lived, so Nanny Kettering?
Yeah, essentially.
And what was your other nan called?
Nana in Hartcliffe.
See, isn't that funny? But it's not that weird, because we've all got our own unique way of calling grandpa. Isn't that funny? Wow.
My grandparents are all first names, but my daughter's granddad on my husband's side is it's not. They don't call him granddad at all. In fact, I think it was a surprise to them when they realised it was their granddad.
Right.
Because they've got granddad, that's my dad, and they've got Dido, who's their other granddad, and he's called Dido because his name's Richard. Dicky Dido.
I think my dad was Grandad Malcolm for them, and the other side, I think it's Grandpa Peter. Doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. I'll have to ask them.
Yeah, my dad's a Pete, but he's just Grandad.
All right, Guy. We continue. Thank you. Who would be your favourite Black Bond?
Adrian Lester.
Adrian Lester. I don't know who that is.
He's from a series called The Hustle.
Oh yeah. He's good. He is, isn't he?
I love him.
Very slim, very slim face, that gentleman. I always think, he could do with a little bit of feeding, that guy. Okay, guys, do you know what? That is a cracking suggestion. That's genuinely a good suggestion. We'll send him an email. Okay, we'll do 4 later because you've got to hang up on it. Number 5, should we bring back the death penalty, and what would be your favourite way of killing nonces and why not?
we should bring back the death penalty.
Yep.
Well, for several reasons, which I won't go into.
Yeah. Oh. Well, hang on a minute. You can't leave that one, and pun intended, hanging in the air. I mean, if you don't want to say why not, then don't. But I would like to hear. But you're under no pressure if it's something private and personal, of course.
I just think that there are some people that are beyond rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And have done something so despicable that life in prison isn't enough.
Okay. We're dangerously close to actually doing... Should we bring back the death penalty, which is always on my notice?
And they'll be cross about that in the morning because we will have taken up their topic.
Okay. No, I think on the breakfast show tomorrow, I think they will actually be executing a paedophile. I think that's happening in tomorrow's show with Julia Hartley-Brewer between 6:30 and whenever it finishes, whenever that drone finishes. Okay. What was your favourite time?
Well, I'm actually going to a specific era in my life. Yep. I'm going to go to... Actually, I really enjoyed my teenage years.
Oh. Did you? Because I looking back, I didn't do my teenage years very well at all. I muffed it up, I think.
No, my early 20s I ruined, really.
Yeah.
But, my teenage years were great because I was a cadet in the Ad Cadets, and I had lots of things to do and lots of friends, and it was just a very sort of fancy-free, no rent, no responsibility kind of time. And
How old are you, Guy?
I'm 35.
Okay. Do you know what I was thinking about a lot in the last couple of days? Right, it's hit me. It's hit me. We're all going to die, and we're all going to die quite soon. Honestly, the last couple of days, this has been my overriding thought. You're going to die really soon, Guy. It's not a threat. It's a promise. It's not a threat. It's a promise. I'm going to die really, really soon. Right? There's not much time. It's inevitable, and the inevitability of my death, your death, Sam's death, your death, Guy. It hit me yesterday. It's like, whoa, dude. We're actually going to die. And here's the thing, the best thing we can hope for is that we get really old. That's the best thing. That's the best thing, yeah. Right? So imagine you with, I'm talking to the listener, imagine you with the person that you love, and you just get really old, right? So you get really old, okay, and that's kind of cute, right? But then one of you's going to die.
Yeah, and then I get a 25-year-old, and that's fine.
Well... Legally, it's fine. Okay, but one of you's going to die. So the best you can hope for, right? The best is that you get old with the person you love, but even then, you're going to die, or you're going to stay alive and watch the person who you've shared everything with, shared all your life with, they're going to die. What?
There is a sense of inevitability about it, yes.
It's bleak, Guy. It's bleak.
Actually, I know very old people, and by the time it comes to their turn, they're ready, because everyone else has gone. Right. It gets a bit boring.
All right, here we go, Guy. If I'm lucky, right? If I'm lucky, I will die before my children, right? If I'm lucky. So what I'm saying is, I hope I make my kids the most miserable they can be for a year to 18 months of their life because their dad is gonna die. What? Sorry. So the best we can hope for is that I get old, I watch whoever I choose to spend my life with die, and then I die, making my kids and probably my grandkids inconsolable.
That's a huge assumption.
Flippin' heck.
You're this miserable at 44. By the time you pop your clogs, they'll think, flippin' heck, thank God for that.
Stop moaning. This is life, Guy. This is what you human. This is what we call living. This is living. Knowing that the person you love is going to die and you're going to be miserable, and then you're going to die and you're going to make the people that you love the most miserable. Sweet Lord.
Drink your honey and lemon and shush.
Okay.
Guy, what's your favourite piece of clothing?
Guy's put the phone down.
I'm not surprised. He's probably gone to have a cry.
Guy, hang on a minute. Guy, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if you went off and got miserable, but this is what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you this question. You're going to tell me the answer, then you're going to hang up on me, OK? This is the final one. What's your favourite piece of clothing?
Oh, dressing gown.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you very much indeed. And he put the phone down as requested. This
Hugh
is
Hefner.
the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio. Stay tuned. Nigel's coming up.
Oh.
Set free your mind. Let your fancy take flight. Conversation gets curiouser by the glow of moonlight.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Let's go to Nigel. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Iain.
Hello, Nigel. What was that, mate?
I was just trying my machine out, my music machine out.
When you say music machine, do you mean a tape player?
Karaoke.
It's a karaoke?
Well, I sang with before the other week.
OK, that's fantastic.
So I was just getting the song ready in case you could let me sing. Hang on, I'm just changing my ears at the moment. I'm on my mobile at the moment.
Ears?
The mobile phone, because the main phone's not working at the moment.
Oh, no! What's happened to the main phone, Nigel?
Well, we paid the bill today, but they haven't connected us yet, which is a bit unfortunate.
Aye. Well, it takes a couple of days for these things to get through.
It was paid this morning, and, it was paid this morning, so hopefully it'll be back on tomorrow. But
I reckon it'll be back on by the end of the week.
Yeah, is this clear, this phone? Is it okay?
This phone is absolutely wonderful, yeah, it's great.
You know what, that when we, instead of us dying, they should make us dream. Keep our brains going so we dream and we never die.
And how do you propose that they do that, Nigel?
Connect us to some sort of internet.
Hey, no, carry on, because you're onto something here. Go on.
Yeah, I'm onto something. Yeah, connect us to some machines that keep going forever, because they do, don't they?
Yes.
As long as they're connected to some sort of...
Supposing there's a power cut. You know what happens if there's a power cut or you haven't paid the electricity and all the food in the fridge goes off? Your mind might go off.
There's power from the sun, though. You know, Cerolis. You know what they call it?
Sorry.
Power from the sun. You know.
Solero.
What do they call it?
A Solero.
Solero power.
So yes, from the sun, and that never stops. The sun never gives out.
Oh no, hang on. A Solero's an iced lolly.
Oh. Anyway, but you see what I mean. But when you're dreaming, you're not really alive. You're alive, but only your brain's alive. You're moving about.
Right. So you want just
suspended animation, as they say.
That's a different thing. That's a different. Suspended animation is your body will be suspended. Right. So you want, just before you die, you want to download your
instead of dying.
Right,
they connect our brains up before we die. Our brain carries on.
You want your brain downloaded onto a hard drive.
Then the next people that come to our Earth, like other aliens and that, can see on a screen what's in people's heads.
Is this so you can sing to them, Nigel, this plan?
They can see what the type of singer I am or what...
There we go.
Anyway, someone put on the internet they wanted to hear me tonight because they're one of my fans. I've got a new video on my a new drumming solo on my Facebook.
I'm never going to see that. That clip started at 11:19.
I've got
30 seconds. Beautiful. Well, let's hear you sing, Nigel.
So I'll do a song. Yeah, but later on you can have a look at my new drum solo on Facebook.
Nigel, on this video, are you wearing a top?
I'm wearing a cardigan.
Excellent.
Is that the one?
It can be.
Right. On you go.
But, so you want the song now? Not drumming. So I'll do the song then.
Thank you.
Well, you won't cut me off, will you?
No.
Sorry about that. Here we go. I'm not going to worry about the neighbours tonight. I thought sod it, So.
Oh. Hey, we're having a no swearing show tonight, Nigel. You're the first person.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not ice
I'll do it quiet. I'll sing quietly. Here we go. I miss you, I miss your smile, though I may shed a tear every once in a while. Even though it's different now, you're still here somehow. Let you go, I need you to know, I miss you, sha-la-la, I miss you.
Who is this, Miley Cyrus?
A child of some kind.
Everything that's happening for me. We're looking back on the past. Far too fast. I miss you. I miss your smile. I miss
I can't take any more of this. It's bloody awful. Yeah. I want to cut my ears off and shove them up my bum hole. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio. Let's go to Richard. Yeah, you have that clip as well. That was a good one. That was a good one. Good evening, Richard.
Evening.
What you got for us, boss?
How are you?
Oh.
Well, I said how are you, but you seem to keep it up.
You speak. Why are you not speaking clearly? Speak properly. You kind of like.
Sorry, I just switched from speakerphone onto. Can you hear me now?
Well, I could hear you. You just weren't saying words.
Oh, sorry, I'm full of cold. I'm also Welsh.
Right. What did you call in for?
Thanks for the economist you sent earlier, because he must have been an absolute fortune today, since he predicted this 10 years ago.
Is it my ears? Because I can't.
He's got a bit of a crunchy phone line. He's saying about Jonathan. He's praising his economy.
Hello.
Are you on a speakerphone?
Were you on speakerphone then?
No, I'm not on speakerphone now.
Okay, right. Say it again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, right. That's fair. I said, well, thanks to the economist you sent earlier, the other Welsh guy. He must have been an absolute fortune today.
Okay. Yep.
Predicting this 10 years ago. But I was talking about my grandparents' favourite method of killing nonces.
Yes, your grandparents' favourite way of killing nonces.
Yeah, on one side it's sadistic, but I think on the other side it was kindness.
Okay, get a new phone, because I can't hear a word you're saying, man. Okay. Let's go to Paul. Evening, Paul.
Good evening.
Turn your radio off.
Yeah, sorry. I'll turn it down. Turn it off.
Thank you,
mate.
Right. Cheers, Paul. What you got for us?
Well, a couple of things, really. I've been listening to your show, and I'm a new listener.
Thank you.
And one of the things that you said about anarchy.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not familiar what they call your guest, the female.
She's my producer and co-host, Catherine.
I'm not a guest. You'd have kicked me out.
Imagine booking a guest and she rocks in. I'd be so happy. Want a refund?
But what you were saying about anarchy, about rape and this and that and the other, and Catherine said, what, nicking tellies? Now the thing about anarchy is that what's the point of nicking tellies or radios or anything? Because there will be no electric, there'll be no gas, no water, nothing.
Well, no, people can broadcast from their bedrooms these days.
Hang on. The thing is, people have got... There would be electricity because people have got generators and car batteries and things like that.
Well, kind of, but the mainstream of electric and water supplies from the water companies, when there's nobody paying the wages, anarchy means total anarchy. And like you're right saying that it will be mob rule.
Yeah.
It will
Totally.
be survival of the fittest.
Don't you think people would take over the waterworks?
Hang on a second. Hang on. Right, but here's the thing. I also believe that that anarchy would not bring out the worst in everyone.
No,
and that there would be there would still be a significant number of good, upstanding citizens who would try their best to get the water and the lecky and the gas going, but they might fail. But so many people have got generators. I could get my.
There would be, but let's imagine that tomorrow there's no police, there's no fire service, there's no ambulances, no nothing, and there's just basic lawlessness. Then before we get to where the good people defend and protect, the bad people will have just rampaged.
Okay, but you could still get electricity from home. Loads of people have got generators. I could rig up a TV and a DVD player to a car battery. I could do that.
You could, but like I'm saying, we're talking about minority and majority, and the majority couldn't do that.
No.
The majority rely on gas supply, water supply, food. There's another one, food, going to your shops. Yeah. When the distribution stops, because there's anarchy, nobody's paying the the lorry drivers.
Oh, I'm with you, brother. Yeah. I know this Johnny Rotten. Oh, give the wrong time, stop a traffic line. I get it. That's not anarchy. That's just hijinks.
Anarchy is the worst case scenario. That is, I agree with you. It's coming. It is coming when society falls, because society is a chain, and each link it's reliant on the other. If a link comes out and breaks, the chain has to rejoin or just collapse. And when it rejoins in a totally different way for society.
Yeah. Don't you think people would reorganise, though? Because power would be...
No.
Yeah, you would be good at sorting out tellies. That would be your special skill.
No. The thing is, so you want to, in this country, you want to 65 million people are not going to organise into a country. No. And they're certainly not want to go back to the system that we have now, which would be the system that has failed.
I'm not suggesting it would. It'd be something different.
You look at Egypt and all these uprisings.
Yeah.
That when you get mass people together, then it's mob rule.
Yeah.
And it's the survival of the fittest. But the second thing I wanted to say, because I've been listening to you.
Hang on a minute, because this is interesting. Right. We'll get onto the second thing in a minute, Paul. This is the joy of doing a show at this time of night. There's no rush. We can get to it.
Okay.
So you think it's going to happen, right? And I hope it doesn't happen, but sometimes I can sort of see, I can see, I can see it. When do you think it's going to happen?
Well, the thing is, it's not about being sort of a fortune teller or a future teller. It's about putting A and B and C and D and E together.
Yeah.
And if you do that from, looking at the past, looking at the present, looking at what's going on around you, you can see it coming. But you can't see when. You can see it coming. Like you said to your guest earlier, we're all going to die. Yeah. And we're going to die soon and da-da-da. And if you're lucky, you'll live old.
Yeah.
Now, I disagree with that because you're 44, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm 50. And you remember a world where if somebody wanted to talk to you, they either knocked on your door or rang you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they wrote you a letter.
Yeah.
Now, we've moved into a different generation where people are just absolutely obsessed with social media and the internet. They can't live without it. We lived without it. As you get older, each generation, it changes. And at 44, 50, wait until you're 60 and 70 and it moves on to something else and you're lost.
Here's another thing. So you're saying that when I said the best you can hope for is getting old, you're saying actually getting old is not a good thing?
It is, providing that society changes with the old, and it's not. I mean, I've been in libraries and charity shops where you've got some old girl or some old boy, and they're struggling to learn how to do these newfangled tools and things like that. So you're forced to change.
Here's my prediction, putting on my futurologist's hat, right? Years ago, when I was about 20, I was on a computer. I wasn't even on a computer. I don't know what it was, but a friend of mine said, "Oh well, when we run out of oil, all of that technology is going to be useless." And here's what I think is going to happen in my lifetime, Paul: the internet, computers, phones. All of that's is going to go. At some point, whether it's because we haven't got enough oil or whether because the whole system is going to collapse.
All that is only reliant on the satellites that circle our Earth.
And it takes the wrong switch to be putting, the wrong plug to be pulled out, and that whole system is going to collapse. And we will have to go back to writing letters and sending smoke signals.
You're talking about that's old technology. Technology's moving forward. Hang on a minute. Technology's moving forward all the time.
Yeah.
We're not going to be reliant on satellites. I don't think we're that reliant on them now.
No. All right, forget the satellites. But if all the electricity was switched off, say, right, which could happen at some point. Okay, you get massive power cuts that go on for days around the world, right?
Yeah, and you can't charge your appliances.
If all the electricity switches off, right, all these kids with their mobile phones and their laptops and their Instagrams and all of that.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
And not only that, what about all the infrastructure that now is being built?
You're assuming we're going to be generating electricity in the same way forever. They're making different ways. They're finding different ways of doing it all the time.
No, but I'm just saying, if the electricity stopped for whatever reason, right? If it stopped, and then this technology, this, and this, and all this becomes worthless. It becomes junk.
Don't you think
we spend too much of our time investing in this meaningless junk?
Don't you think, though, at some point these things will?
She's tapping a computer.
These things will start. Hang on.
No, hang on, because hang on. No, don't come in with an attitude. 'Cause you are a little bit. But
I
go
am,
on.
but because I can't finish a thought.
No, you are. But then you've done the same to him. So come on, be fair.
I am.
No, hang on, Paul. Hang on. Go on, Kath.
I'm just saying, don't you think that this equipment we've got now, OK, we've got the most effective way of charging it at the moment is by using some sort of plug socket,
Yes.
but actually in future it'll probably charge itself, maybe with momentum or something.
No, but... OK, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm just saying assuming electricity stops. Just assume electricity stops. Doesn't matter how it's generated. This all becomes pointless. Everything in this room is pointless. We've got 3 cameras at us and 4 computers. It's all pointless.
Well, let's take what Catherine's saying there,
yes,
and let's put it to electric cars then.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have a charging point. We're a million years away from that. You know, just like you say, if the electricity goes down now, we haven't actually come any further forward apart from when Tesla and Edison was creating electric currents and alternators and DC. We haven't come any further than that. We've just got smaller and this. You can only go so far with the science and technology you've got, and we haven't up to now come up with another power source, just like all the power stations that they're saying, oh, that's, we don't want them, we don't want fossil fuel, because we can't do it.
But we have...
And if you turn the electric off, the electric goes off in, 6 weeks?
But you're still...
Half the population would be dead.
You're still talking about outside power sources. I'm talking about things that can generate their own electricity, like, say, you wind up radios and stuff like that.
Well... OK, but then how are you going to get the signal to the wind-up radios?
Well, again...
We are decades off.
Because there will be no electricity to run the radio station.
We are decades off. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent. What was the other thing you wanted to say?
The other thing I wanted to say about when you was on about dying and living old and things like that, and you are a deep thinker, I can tell that.
Very deep. This is what I like. I like this guy. Yeah, I'm a very deep thinker. Yes.
You are, yeah, and I can tell that by your conversations, and I'm pretty much the same. That if I take a subject, I'll do the 360. I won't just make an assumption. I'll think about the full lot and then make my opinion.
Yeah.
And one of the things what I want to say about like living old and things like that about when you were saying, God, is that what we've got to look forward to? Losing everybody, is that life?
Yeah.
Now, to me, I had this assumption years ago, and it came about with my grandchildren and my children, which was imaginary friends. Now, basically, like you're on, a path of deep thinking, we are the only species on this planet that actually had to be taught how to be that species by given a code.
Yes.
That is sound association code, that when we hear this, we will think of this. And before you're a certain age, you are switched on, plugged in. And then you become a human. You either have your traits, all your conditions, what are out there. But ideally, you will be by a certain age. And I watch my grandchildren have imaginary friends.
Mm.
And they could see and talk to somebody who wasn't there at a certain age. And then when they became a certain age, that disappeared. They couldn't see or hear that. Yeah. So basically, before they got switched totally off by the human language that we all run by, they could see.
Well, I know what you mean about social conditioning and stuff, but that could also just be a quirk of development. There are developmental stages in a young person's life where at this age you can predict they will do this, at this age they will do that, and maybe just the getting rid of their imaginary friends, which not everybody does. My boys don't have imaginary friends, not that I'm aware of, anyway.
No.
But maybe the getting rid of the imaginary friends is not a language thing. It's not a social conditioning thing. It's just an age thing, and it just that they need it up until the age of, let's say, 7 to help them solve problems and work out things, and then after 7 they don't need it.
Right, but
Yes.
That's one scenario.
Yeah.
But the other scenario, and it's based on pure logic, which is that we are just a programme based on words.
Well, hang on a minute. I mean, you said that, but that isn't based on pure logic.
No.
You just said based on pure logic, we're a programme. Well, that's not logic.
Well, it kind of is in the language what we speak. There's 7 different languages in the world, but there's 7 different thousand ways.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. What do you mean there's 7 different languages in the world?
There's 7,000, I said.
You said 7.
No, I said 7,000.
You said 7. Okay, so it was a mistake. Right, so there's 7,000 languages, right?
Right, so there's 7,000 languages and sign language and braille, but that is 7,000 different ways of making a noise of the same thing. A cup.
Well, no, but it's not, though. But it's not. And do you know what? This is really interesting, because I heard a thing on Radio 4 about this years ago, right? That there's not. For example, in... I guess Icelandic or something. I'm not quite sure, but the Eskimos. There's the example. The Eskimos have got about 70 different words for snow, right? Whereas we kind of have snow, we have sleet, we have slush,
frost.
Well, frost isn't snow, so snow, sleet, slush. So we have 3, and we can recognise snow. We can recognise sleet, and I can recognise slush. And as far as my perception is concerned, those are the only 3 types of snow, right? But the Eskimos recognise 40 different types of snow. Right. So they see 40 different types of snow, where I can only see 3 different types of snow.
Yeah, because you've been conditioned from being a child in your language, what you've been given, that when you grow up, you will only perceive what you've been taught.
Yeah, but you were saying there were 70,000 different ways of saying the same thing, but there's not, because each different language allows the user to see something different that is appropriate to that culture.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Before going back thousands of years when... You know, somebody popped up speaking Icelandic, like you said, and then somebody's popped up on the other side of the world speaking Chinese.
Yes.
When them two met, it's only by chance, like the Rosetta Stone, that they can, translate each other's language. Yeah. But that's human language. You get a animal from India and one from Africa, put them together, and they will be able to communicate in their language.
Now you're assuming a load of things, right? First of all, you're assuming that, let's say cows, okay? You're assuming that cows can communicate verbally. We don't know that, right?
I never said verbally.
Well...
I didn't say verbally.
Well, you said with their own language, so one assumes that language is a verbal communication.
Well, no, language isn't, is it? Because sign language isn't verbal.
Okay, all right. Well, I made a wrong assumption then. I made a wrong assumption, right? But again, you don't have any proof that they're actually communicating verbally or non-verbally, and also they don't have the intricacies of language. If it's not language, if it's not linguistics, they don't have the intricacies of that. They might just have a little movement, a little nod of the head. So there are less ways for it to be misinterpreted.
Well, when I'm saying language, I'm talking about I've got 2 dogs, and one of my dogs goes near the other one. They don't have to jump up and snap and snarl and grab them. They just have to lift the lip up, and that is
right. But then we have non-verbal communication with other people. If I go to most places in the world. With exceptions, if I go to most places in the world and wave my hand from side to side, the other person will do something similar.
Which means what?
Come on, now don't be an idiot. You know what a wave means,
and they do the same. That means absolutely nothing because.
Well, hang on a minute. You just talked about 2 dogs, one moving next to the other. Well, what does that mean?
Well, what I'm trying to say is...
No, but answer the question. Start answering questions with questions. What does your dog thing prove?
I wasn't. I was trying to answer the question. I began my answer by saying, what I'm trying to say is that humans...
No. You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. The question was, what does your dog story prove? That was the question.
My dog story proves that they don't have to jump on each other, or they didn't have to be taught how to be a dog. At 7 weeks old...
No, but you were saying they communicated.
Listen,
No. How does... No, you're not, though. You're not, though. How does... You're not. How does... Paul, how does your dog story prove that dogs are communicating with each other? And how does my story about two people waving at each other... how does that not prove that people can communicate non-verbally when we know they can?
Well, when I tell my dog, don't do that, he just looks at me like I'm daft. My dog doesn't have to get up. She just raises her lip, and he goes and lays down, or does that. She has to...
But how does that prove... That doesn't prove they're communicating.
Well, why doesn't it?
Well, because it doesn't...
How does that not?
Because it doesn't... That's not proof. That's not proof. So one dog does what?
Communication.
What? No, I'm not talking about verbal. I'm talking about non-verbal. One dog does what? Lifts its lid.
Its lip.
Right.
And shows its teeth.
Right. And that is saying to the other dog, come and lie down with me.
No, it's saying, go away from me because I don't want you anywhere near me.
Utter bollocks.
Now.
Utter bollocks. That's not what that means.
Are you really? Are you saying that's utter bollocks?
Yes, I'm saying that is utter bollocks.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what then. If you're saying that's...
No F-bombs. No F-Paul. No F-bombs. No F-bombs. Go on.
Sorry.
Say it again.
Man.
No F-bombs. Go on, say it again. But without the F-bomb.
I'm saying that if you're so tuned in and plugged in and a deep thinker as you are...
Well, you've made that assumption. You've made that assumption, which could be incorrect. So I have never called myself a deep thinker. You've made that assumption about me. And just because I have disagreed with you on something, you are now getting quite angry, which I think is fascinating.
I'm actually bemused by is
You're
that you're disagreeing and saying utter bollocks.
Yes.
When you actually purely haven't got no facts.
No, hang on. You haven't got any facts. You're giving me anecdotal evidence that is meaningless. It is not recognised, and I work with the dog community very closely. It is not recognised that a dog just lifting its lip is saying to another dog, go away. Whereas it is universally recognised, universally with the exceptions, of course, that someone waving at someone and the other person, that is a sign of some form of greeting. That is a universal, and yet you've just dismissed that. You've just dismissed that. So
no.
Well, you did.
Fine. But I'm saying that language is a code. So how did that person learn that
they didn't need to? They didn't need to. We know these things are taught as the same way that the animal communication is taught. It's passed down. You see your mum and dad doing it, so you do it. And the same with the dogs. It's a learnt thing. It's a learnt thing.
So a human is a mimic. So take a
so is a dog.
Take a
so your whole argument. No. Your whole argument falls because you're saying that dogs are not taught this, but of course they are taught it because they learn it through play, they learn it through mimicking, they learn it through experience. If I do this, it gets this reaction. You've heard of Pavlov, yeah? Dogs can learn through experience.
You're going off the tangent.
No, I'm not. Here's the thing, Paul. Here's the thing. I'm the one that is focusing. I am focusing on the Paul. When I speak, they can't hear you. When I'm speaking, they can't hear you. I'm not going off on a tangent. I am focusing razor sharp on the point that you keep moving away from ever so slightly, so focus on it. You've said...
If you hear me out, I'll explain.
I've heard you out for 25 minutes. You've said...
You got it wrong.
No. OK, great argument. You've said that dogs don't learn this behaviour, they just know how to be dogs. That's not true. They learn it. Whether it's from dogs, whether it's from humans, a lot of it is through play. That's why puppies like to play, because they are, and why we are encouraged to play with puppies. They learn it. They copy. They mimic.
Let me ask you this.
No, don't answer a question with a question. Address the point I've just made.
Right, so when you take a dog away at 7 weeks old, and it comes into a house with no other dogs, does your dog go and sit on the toilet? Does it get up and make itself a sandwich? No, it doesn't. It's always a dog. Always.
Paul, that is the most ridiculous line out of quite a long line of ridiculous statements. That is nonsense, what you've just said. You can train a dog to use a toilet. No, a dog is a mimic as well, within its capability. Of course it doesn't go and make a sandwich. It wouldn't be able to open the fridge.
A dog will always be a dog, no matter if it lives with another animal. A cat or whatever. It will always do its dog things.
You think you are saying something very wise, and you're not. You're saying something very vacuous.
So, I'm saying, if a child was brought up by foxes or wolves or whatever, and then you met it in a forest and waved at it, you're telling me he would stand up and wave, because he would universally
When was the last child you saw that was raised by wolves? Let's put the phone down. I knew we'd get there in the end. I enjoyed that, Paul. Thank you for that. That was fun. Let's go to Jerry. Good evening, Jerry. Hello?
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Jerry. Are you on speakerphone?
I certainly am.
Right. Can you not be?
Well, I think it's a load of drivel.
Sorry?
Lately.
What?
Yeah, where's all the old drivel?
What are you talking about?
Where's the Barry from Watford, and the Devinder, and the Graham, and the Daisy Donovan, and the G-Man, and the Betty, and the Yasser, and the Joanne, the Webb, the Weather Girl, and the James O'Brien, and the Nick F, and the Lynn from Forest Gate? I'm disappointed, Ian.
I'm really sorry to have disappointed you, Jerry.
Where are they all gone?
They're all dead, Jerry.
They're dead?
Yeah.
What, Nick F is dead?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Does everybody know?
Everybody knows you're the last person, Jerry, and I was just putting off calling you up and telling you. I just didn't know how to break it to you. I'm sorry, dude.
What about Daisy?
All dead, mate. They're all gone.
Jesus.
It was a horrific
Devinder?
coach crash. Yep, she's gone.
Barry?
Yep, dead.
Not Barry.
Yep, Barry's
Please,
dead.
not Barry.
Barry's dead, Jerry.
Oh, my God. I can't sleep now.
Sorry, mate.
James O'Brien, what about him?
Yep, dead.
Lynn. Not Lynn.
Lynn was driving the coach. Don't cry, Jerry, don't cry.
No, I'm not crying. It's tears of despair, Ian.
Yep, well, that's crying.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What can we do?
We've just got to move on. We've just got to get on with the future, buddy, and just focus and try and do our best without those guys.
I'm with you, Ian.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that, brother. You take care of yourself, mate. I don't want you dying either.
I won't do. I'm still alive and kicking.
OK, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Blimey. Let's go to Keith. Good evening, Keith.
Oh, hi, you two. Hope you're all right. I'm the Cineworld evangelist, you know, from a few weeks ago. You know, the Cineworld card.
Oh, yeah. And do you know what? I looked into getting a Cineworld card after speaking to Cineworld Linda Evangelista. And I filled in the form, and then something stopped me clicking the submit button.
I thought about it this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, because I have a lot of days to myself, and maybe I should watch films instead.
It turns out, because I thought there was a Cineworld in Maidenhead and in Slough, and there wasn't. There's one in Maidenhead, and there's an Odeon in Slough, and I just thought,
yeah, you got to see where I live. I've got 3 within 4 miles, 5 miles. You see. And, I've been to the cinema tonight, and I don't know what to start with. I mean, on the back of briefly, on the back of the last 25 minutes, I mean, what occurred to me was a film that sort of mirrored the sort of debate of anarchy and everything breaking down. Yeah. It's a film called The Road, one of the most depressing films I've seen for a long time. Robert Duvall was in it.
Oh, that's a bleak film, The Road.
Oh, right.
Man alive.
Right, so I don't really... That's not what I rung up for, but I think you can break... all the points that everyone's spoken about, and Catherine, and, you know, things breaking down, and Darwinian theory of the survival of the fittest. I think is in that. But anyway, on a lighter note, I've been tonight to see The Post. Tom Hanks.
Oh, that doesn't look. I don't like the look of that.
I've heard it's a little bit dull. That one
looks very worthy.
And I think I'm not. I saw The Darkest Hour since I spoke to you, but I went. I thought, well, Spielberg, Tom Hanks, and the first half hour, I must admit, it was. I got a bit twitchy. You know, I thought, where's this going at all?
Yeah.
But it is quite informative, and I think I should know more about sort of the history of things. Anyway, trying to make it as simply as possible. Basically, it's the fact that the New York Times, somebody broke into the Pentagon pre-Watergate and got all this guff out about why the Vietnam War. When did it actually start? I'm 57. I mean,
the Vietnam War started. And I started watching that documentary on iPlayer about Francis Blake.
When did it actually start?
I'm going to say it started 63.
63. And what all this stuff basically was saying
was... Kat's saying no. When did it start?
1955.
55. Oh, right. Well, that's interesting.
Okay,
to 75.
Actually, after the first half hour and, the source that got in pre-Watergate was actually saying that basically after 4 years... the government knew that it was going nowhere, and it said that 20% of the reason why they stayed in was about is it Ho Chi Minh, to sort of like oust him, and another 10% was to keep, as I said, the commies. I don't know where they're, contextually wise, but 70% of it, the reason that they stayed in, I think up to 1970, I remember, was that it was about not losing face, the humiliation.
Oh, it was a big willy measuring competition, and they couldn't pull out because they would have lost face. I think it was ended like 73, 74, something like that.
Was it so far?
75. Keith, listen, we've got 20 seconds.
That's all right.
Quickly, was it good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's good. It was cool.
Nice one, Keith. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that, mate. Give us a call again with your films. Is this a recorded or is it live? Jamie on Twitter says, I reckon Iain Lee is wrong here. Of course a dog lifting a lip and showing its teeth is saying go away. It's snarling, isn't it? Now, here's what we didn't get onto. He said it was just lifting its lip. Now, a snarl is a noise. Snarl is a noise, and he deliberately... I'm assuming he deliberately didn't miss out the noise.
Also, some dogs grin.
Yep. What?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Some dogs grin.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
like chimps do sometimes. It's a kind of fear thing. And some dogs do that.
You did a very good impression of a chimp then. That was good.
I've got the right teeth. Some dogs do that.
I enjoyed that, Paul. I hope, I do like it when people argue and then get angry about it. I was enjoying that. I suspect you won't be listening again, but Paul, you're very welcome to call in any time you want. Freddie and Andre say they'll come to you in a bit. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Who's got your slide collection? And who knows you're cooking your perfection? Who's got your lamp selection through? We do. All right. Who's got your slide projector? And who knows you were a picture frame collector? Who knows that your blender was electric too? We do. And we're rocking and a rolling tonight. All night. With a Trachtenberg slideshow. All right. Music slide collections set to your song selections all night. Yeah, we're rocking and a rolling tonight. Kent State to Oklahoma City, Dallas, Texas, Pearl Harbor, New York City. Slideshows, who knows what will happen tonight? All right, it's true, all right. Making art that some call exploitation, making mockery of family vacations, making commentary on the state of situations too. We do, and we're rocking and rolling tonight. All our 80-piece Suburban. It's what we spread the word in. Alright, yeah, we're rocking and a rolling tonight. All night, all night, all night, all night, all night, all night. Yeah, we're rocking
well, that's the Trachtenberg family slideshow players, and they were a brilliant act, right? And I must have seen them 12 years ago. And it was a family. It was a mum and a dad and their young daughter who was like 10 on the drums. And they were American, and they would go to garage sales and yard sales, and they'd buy boxes of slides, and then they'd write songs about the slides. Let me just. This goes on for too long, so I won't play the whole thing. But this is the pop single. This is Mountain Trip to Japan, 1959, and it's all based on slides they found. Listen to this. This is just stunning. The video is on YouTube, because it's a great song, but with the mountain trip to Japan, with the slides, it's there.
I think you showed me that once.
Okay, here we go. Tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tweet the link so you can watch it as well. Okay, so here we go. We won't play the whole thing, don't worry. And Freddie and Andre and Gary, stay there. About to play Mountain Trip to Japan, brackets, 1959, by Trachtenberg. I wonder if there's Berg family. No, they're not on Twitter. By the Trachtenberg family players. You need the video at the same time. Okay, so I've just tweeted it. We'll play as much of it as I feel I can be bothered to. We will start it in one. No, hang on, you don't count up, you count down. In 3, 2, 1, go. Lake Chalet is what you're reading. Mountain wow. What a line. 1959. Take a plane into the ocean. Plane into the plane into the This is etc. You can play the rest at home, and it's a cracking song, and they did they were kind of quite cool for a while. I think they played Edinburgh, and they were on some TV shows in the States, and they came over here. And I think the daughter now, she's got to be 20. Rachel Trachtenberg. She's 24. Look, there she is. I met her when she was a kid. I met her when she was 12. And she's a 24-year-old woman, look, and she's got her own band. Good for her. Well, that's my reading for tomorrow sorted out. I'm going to be finding out what's happened to the Trachtenberg family slideshow players. Good evening, Freddie.
Hi, Ian. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. What have you got for us?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, round of applause every time that gets said, yes.
As well. Hello, Kath.
Thanks. Hello.
Yeah, you're part of the show. I always feel like you're the invisible half of the show.
Well, that's
I'm quite visible.
Well, only on Periscope.
That's enough
well
for
done
anyone.
on the jungle, by the way.
Thanks.
Well, not Kath, obviously.
Oh, yes. She was invisible in the jungle. Thank you. Yes, it was. It was
yeah,
because
now my mum knows who you are.
Yay! This is it. Here's the thing: mums know who I am, and kids know who I am. I went and saw my. How heavy do you want to get, Freddie?
Go on.
Do you want to get heavy? I went and saw my psychiatrist today.
That's
and because ITV are paying for 3 sessions with my psychiatrist because it's quite expensive.
They put you through it though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did put me through it. So I'm with my psychiatrist because I want to, come off my antidepressants at some point. But there was a little minor kind of relapse a few weeks ago. So stuff's going on, and he said to me, he said, "How are you doing now?" And I said, the jungle was weird, right? And it's had a profound effect on me. And to anyone who's just saw it as a TV show, you won't get it. But it's had a profound effect.
We only get the clips, don't we? We don't see the...
I said to Neil, to my psychiatrist, I said that the best way I can describe it, right? And don't take drugs, kids, but after I took LSD. The first time, of only a handful of times. I'm not recommending this to anyone, but this is my truth. After I took it, right, for the next year at least.
Hang on, when did you do the LSD?
Oh, 20-odd years ago, long time ago.
I meant in the jungle.
No,
then.
God, no. But people, a lot of tribes consider hallucinogenics to be rites of passage. Anyway, so for the next year at least, after I took the LSD. Mm-hmm. I saw everything differently. I perceived everything differently.
I'll tell you, Ian,
yes.
I did LSD once when I was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the same place, the same house, everything, but everything looked different. It was so odd. Like I recognised everything. I recognised everything about it, but it just felt like a different place.
It really does shift your perception of everything. It's the strangest thing, and I'm not recommending people do this. This is just my story, right? And it shifts your perception of everything. And I genuinely believe that perception shift has stayed with me through my life. Okay, and that my humour and my performance style, some of it can be traced back to that, right? But it was a profound experience, and many people cite it as a religious experience. It certainly wasn't religious for me, but it's profound. And I said to my psychiatrist, I said, that's the closest... The only comparison I've got is when I took LSD. The profundity of it is similar to how profound the experience has been since leaving the jungle. It has shifted my perception on everything.
Well, have you heard about them treating depression with microdosing?
Magic mushrooms. With magic mushrooms. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, the psilocybin mushroom. And I was watching a documentary on Vice. I don't know if you know Vice. There's a documentary about a toad that has the same... I can't remember the chemical, but it has the same hallucinogenic in it.
Yep.
And people have been milking these toads. It's really weird.
No, imagine milking a toad. I remember one of my best phone-ins I ever did was a throwaway line that went to 3 hours of radio. Can you milk a cat? The answer is yes.
Of course you can.
But yeah, and there is, and they've done proper scientific studies that for some people taking a controlled dose of magic mushrooms can help it kind of, they call it like a reboot or a reset for the brain. And
I work in a medical profession, but I could never suggest that. You know what I mean?
No.
If I got a patient and said, "Why don't you try LSD?" I could never.
No, exactly. And there are was it R.D. Lang? I think it was R.D. Lang.
Oh, yeah. The Politics of Experience and the Bird of Paradise.
He was I don't know what he was. A doctor.
He was a psychiatrist.
He was a psychiatrist.
And he encouraged patients to take small doses.
Yeah. He gave severely unstable, mentally ill people in asylums.
Well, American guy. It was similar. What's he called now? The American guy that's like the tune-in, turn-in.
Timothy Leary was an old head.
British Timothy Leary, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, Timothy Leary was an old head and a hippie, but R.D. Lang was a doctor, and he was in mental institutions, and he would give really severely mentally ill people, schizophrenic and all of this, LSD, and surprisingly, it didn't work.
I've got a saying on a different topic.
Yes.
For a talk radio show, you play some brilliant music.
I know, don't we? And they sacked me from Virgin.
The littlest hobo theme is like my ringtone now.
Oh, good for you. I know. I play the best music.
I collect obscure records. I collect, Moog synthesizer records. Because when the Moog
synthesizer... Just back up a little bit. Just back up a little bit, right? Okay. What did you call it?
The Moog synthesizer.
Thank you very much indeed.
He knows.
Thank you very much indeed, because
the Moog synthesizer.
Hang on a second. This is Robert Moog himself talking. Hang on.
M-O-O-G. It's originally a Dutch name. This goes back 1,000 years or so. And in Holland you would pronounce it Moch. Now that's a little bit too much. To expect people to do here. In Germany, it's a fairly common name, and there it's pronounced Moog.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Robert Moog telling you how to pronounce Moog.
Yeah, so I collect these obscure records. When the Moog came out, they made these demonstrations.
What are you doing, Freddie?
Moog!
Thank you.
Moog. When the Moog came out, they made these demonstration records. So they were like Beatles songs, but on the Moog.
Yeah. Jesus, this guy's sailing close to the wind, isn't he?
They were very good, though. Very good.
Well, here you go. This is... Hang on, here we go. This is the Moog Plays the Beatles. There goes the Moog playing the Beatles. Oh, there it is. Anyway, that's the music for the rest of the show. Thank you for that. Was there anything else, Freddie?
Yeah, I've got to say, it was my girlfriend that got me into listening to this show.
Beautiful.
Because she lives in London and I live in Manchester. Yeah. And I said to her one night, "What are you listening to? What are you doing?" So I'm listening to Iain Lee. So she listens in London, I listen in Manchester. So we have this in common now.
What's her name?
Catherine.
Catherine?
Good name.
Dump him. You can do better than him. He collects weird records. You don't need that in your life. Find a Londoner. Thank you, Freddie.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ta. We're playing this all night. 0344 499 1000. Andre, you'll be next. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Wow. Still got a little bit too psychedelic. How have I never heard? Oh, I can buy it on iTunes. No, won't let me. Moog. Hang on.
I feel like Barbarella.
Yeah. As long as your clothes don't start floating off. Here we go. Moog Plays the Beatles. Guys, it's only $3.99. Buy, bought. Oh, wow. There was problems... hang on a minute. Well, it's not letting me buy it, so, well, OK. Let's go to Andre. Good evening, Andre.
Hi, hi, Kath.
Hi, Andre.
Oh, bit more talking there. And what are you, Ian? Are you going to say anything to me tonight?
Yeah, I said hello, Andre.
I've just been levitating around the house for the last 3 calls now, waiting to get on the show.
Right, OK. Levitating, you say?
Yeah.
We used to have a caller, Absolute, a guy called Rob from Ponder's End, who genuinely believed he could levitate. Okay. And he once was in a prison cell drawing sex, and a fly. Do you remember a fly appeared from another dimension?
Yeah, that's a film, isn't it?
Sorry, it is a film, but a lot of the words I've said are films. Cell is a film, probably a film called Prison. So. Lots of words I've said are films, yes, that is correct. OK.
Yeah,
OK. That's
before, let me just get a word in, if I can, if you don't mind.
I don't mind, Andre, not at all.
Now, you probably... I know you've been in Ireland. Did you hear about the Undertones? Did you hear any of their songs when you was there?
Not when I was there, no. Just because we were in Ireland doesn't mean we checked out all of the Irish bands.
No, would you like to listen to one of my favourites from the Undertones?
Will it be you singing?
Yes.
Away you go, buddy. Turn these microphones off. This is Andre.
Just turn my stereo off. I've got my lappy on. Let's get it rock and rolling. Can you hear that? Now I've got a cousin called Kevin. He's sure to go to heaven. Always spot this clean and neat. As soon as you can get them. Got 4-inch fitting jackets. A Marseille Costa packet. She won't even let me explain. Me and Kevin were just not the same. Oh, my perfect cousin. What I like to do, he doesn't. He's his famous pride and joy, his mother's little golden boy. Degree in economics, maths, physics, and bionics. He thinks that I'm a cabbage, because I hate university challenge. Even at the age of 10, I thought he was a smart boy then. He always beat me at the beauty, because he flicked the kick. And I didn't know, oh, my perfect cousin. I like to do, he doesn't. He's his famous pride and joy, his mother's little golden boy.
There we go, thanks very much for that. You'll be pleased to hear, I now own this. OK, well, let's play the song. It's one of the Beatles' most famous songs. What is it? 03444991000. Kath, you can have a guess. This is one of the Beatles' most famous songs played on the Moog. What is it? What is that song? 03444991000 is the telephone number. One of the Beatles' most famous songs. Let's hear it again. There we go. That's it. Any ideas?
Is it Hey Judith?
It's not Hey Judith, I'm afraid not. 03444991000. For the first time this evening, the switchboard is bare. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. You shouldn't really be keeping bones in cupboards. That's not hygienic. Bloody cough!
Oh dear.
Bloody cough! Buggering cough. While we're waiting, there we go. 03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Oh! There's a film coming out which has got Colin Firth in. But I'm quite looking forward to it, despite that.
I quite like Colin Firth.
Oh, you'll like this, Em. It's a film about our old mate, Donald Crowhurst.
Ah!
Yeah.
They've made 2, haven't they? They made that one, the expensive one.
Yeah.
And I believe a friend of ours was working on one that was less expensive.
Who? What friend of ours?
Your mate Simon.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh. This is such a fascinating story. We talk about Crowhurst more than perhaps is good for our health. For 7 months and 2 days, the 4 young children of amateur sailor Donald Crowhurst awaited the return of their father from the high seas. 7 months and 2 days. The Devon inventor made headlines, breaking speed records as he piloted his plywood boat in a... I think this is the theme tune to the movie, actually. In a plywood boat in a round-the-world race using self-designed navigational aids. He seemed set to win a £5,000 prize, worth £85,000 today, for posting the fastest solo time, plus global... Why am I missing the L's out? Plus global publicity for his gadgets. But for the final month, there was radio silence from his leaky vessel, the Tynemouth Electron. Tynemouth? Tynemouth.
I thought it was Teignmouth.
T-E-I-G-N. Teignmouth?
I think it was Teignmouth.
Oh, yeah, fine. Let's go with it. I'm not fussy.
If you know we're wrong, tell us.
Ah. It was found adrift in the South Atlantic on July the 10th, 1969, with nobody aboard. Donald's logbooks revealed he had lied about his position in the race before apparently taking his own life. A new film called The Mercy, starring Colin Firth as the sailor and Rachel Weisz?
Yes.
As his... I like it when you pronounce W's as V's. I like it. I think it's a fun thing to do. I like say... I think in the past I've had to mention Volkswagen cars in a voiceover. And when you're doing it in a voiceover, you have to say Volkswagen. And I love it. It feels so deliciously mischievous. The Germans have got such a cool grasp on the language.
But you took the mickey out of me because the way I say Gestapo.
You say Gestapo instead of Gestapo.
What?
Gestapo. I'm Sean Connery and I'm in the Gestapo. A new film starring these people explores what drove Donald to such desperation. Donald's family and the actor who plays him believe he never intended to trick his way to the prize and just wanted to avoid financial ruin. Colin Firth, talking about the consequences of Donald calling off the race, said, I don't think I've ever heard Colin Firth speaking. I've never seen a film he's in.
Never seen Bridget Jones?
Of course I've not seen Bridget Jones. I'm a 44-year-old heterosexual male who's managed to avoid crap like that.
I would think in Pursuit of Female, you might have seen
I was probably
Bridget
married
Jones.
when it came out.
Ah.
I might have to watch it now. Okay. We are in no position to judge. As I imagine he speaks. The conditions of stopping were so brutal. That was the kind of pressure, the solitude and everything you're up against. I don't think anyone could possibly understand. Anyway, it's a good story, that. Read a book on it, go and see the film. And,
It's a terribly sad story.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. There's a great documentary, it'd probably be on the BBC iPlayer, a Radio 4 documentary about him, and it's because he recorded everything. He was on the boat, and not only did he record with his hand, he also made tape recordings and film. He made film as well, I think, didn't he? Shot film.
Yeah, there's a documentary called Deep Water.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Don't forget, we are asking you, what is this? It's one of the Beatles' most famous songs played on the Moog. Oh, 34449911000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Best £3.99 I've ever spent. Just dawned on me, everything is played on the Moog. There's no real instruments. Listen to it. The bass, the sound of the wind, everything is played on the Moog. Listen. Everything.
That's very 1960s soft porn.
Yeah, isn't it? I'm trying to see if I can find out anything about the album. But, hang on. No. Here we go. The guy's playing this. Marty Gold, December the 26th, 1915, January the 14th, 2011. Nearly 100, look at that. Was a composer. Yeah, this is him. Listen to this. Was a composer, pianist, and band leader born in New York City. He was the pianist and arranger for the Corn Cobblers, a popular 1940s novelty group billed as America's most nonsensical dance band. But he was probably best known as the composer of the song Tell Me Why, which was a hit for the Four Aces in 1951. Mr. Gold also arranged, conducted and recorded for RCA Victor light orchestral mood music pieces, utilising fully the possibilities of the newly developed stereophonic sound, with whole sections of violins drifting between right and left speakers. He produced Peter Nero's first two albums for RCA and also conducted the accompanying orchestra. Gold died in Agora Hills, California, at the age of 95. Wowzers. Don't mention this album in there. That's disappointing. He's survived by his wife. I mean, this is an obituary. He's survived by his wife, Helen. What? He is survived by his wife, Helen, brackets Jackie.
Okay.
What does that mean?
It means that maybe she's known as Jackie, but her name is Helen, or vice versa.
What the heck?
My dad's best mate, Trevor, his real name's Michael.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wowzers.
Apparently happens a lot with Catholic families, because you get a saint's name and then you choose a cooler middle name.
Okay. His brother Arthur, his daughters Bonnie, Wendy and Laurie, his sons Daniel and Michael, 9 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Wow. Wowzers. Well, Marty, we're saluting you. So is that good? See, that guitar sounds like a guitar. I tell you what's happened. This, and some people get this because I tell you exactly what's going on here. It's because I've talked quite a lot today about LSD. This is what the heads would call a flashback. This is what they would call a flashback, where you find yourself really analysing. Sounds like it's. That's what's going on there, so we'll snap out of that as quickly as we can. Right, 0344 499 1000. Call straight to air for the last 25 minutes, dear listener. We said we'd have 60 questions for you by the end of the show, and goddammit, we're 54 off. Your favourite sandwich filling? Who's your favourite grandparent and why? Who would be your favourite black bond? Your favourite piece of clothing, but then you have to hang up. I don't remember why. Should we bring back the death penalty, and what would be your favourite way of killing nonces and why not? And what was your favourite time? 0344 499 1000. We are also asking, what is this? It's one of the Beatles' most famous songs played on the Moog. It's the opening track on the album, guys. It is the opening track on the album. So it's one of their most famous. Hang on. Look. Here we go. Listen to this. Guys, this album, Marty Gold, Moog plays the Beatles. It's $3.99, right? You can afford £4. Everybody go out and buy it. And then there'll be the Moog children, the Gold children. I'm sure the wife and the brother are no longer with us. Maybe they are. But they'll get a phone call tomorrow afternoon going, guys, I don't know what's going on, but, you know Marty's Moog album? No, he did Moog, plays the Beatles. There's been a huge spike of it in the UK. It's just sold 500 copies. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't think this is a prank. I think this is... It's just sold 500 copies.
What I'm imagining is a load of mums tomorrow morning driving their kids to school while playing this.
There we go. This is what it's all about, guys. This is what it's all about. 0344 499 1000. Call straight to air and whatever else you fancy. No, that's boring. Oh, what was this? Oh, here we go. You know, we talked about Greggs were doing. You can go and book a table at Greggs, some Greggs, not all of them, for Valentine's Day, and you get like a 4-course meal.
Mostly beige.
Very beige.
And booze.
And booze. Was it like $12.50 or something?
Cheap.
If you're doing that, let us know, man, because that is incredible. Poundland are getting in on it. Poundland, love it. Valentine's feast for just £2.50. So Poundland isn't pound anymore, is it? It's not a pound anymore.
Well, how much is it? How much they charge you for this feast?
Okay, £2.50. Yeah.
I'd suggest not then.
Loved up couples can enjoy a Valentine's meal for £2.50 a head from Poundland.
A head, so it's a £5.
Okay, well, it depends. Maybe you're in a modern. Maybe you're a Mormon. Is it the Mormons?
Some Mormons.
Oh, okay.
You might be polyamorous.
I met a Mormon when I was in LA once. We were filming, and we Vox popped her, and then she. Then we talked to her. She looked normal, but she was in one of them.
Was she?
Yeah, polyamorous Mormon marriage. I just thought, wouldn't
Did someone say polyamorous?
Sorry?
I said, did someone say polyamorous?
Hello.
Oh, Christ. Well, first of all, the song you were after was Back in the USSR. Ding. And secondly, I've lost my hamster. Hello?
Hello.
Who's
What
that?
is your why? What is your why?
Sorry?
What is your why?
You sound like a
You
freak.
lost a
I've lost my hamster.
I found one. My cat Ken's got it.
No. You sound southern. You come to travel that far. I'm not a dumb cop.
No, I'm in Rochdale. Can't you tell by my accent? Who are you?
Hi, is this Ian?
Yeah. What is your why?
Hi, this is Nikki. This is
hello,
Nikki and
Nikki.
Jerry
What is your
from
why?
California.
I've been to California. Hello?
Yeah, we're from California. We're from California. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can hear
You
you.
can hear me.
Yeah.
We were calling.
What's the weather like?
We were calling because we listen to you all the time. My best friend listens to you all the time, and we were reading your article on depression, and so that caught our eye, and we just loved what you said.
Oh, I can't do it. I can't be mean. That was you were talking to a call. I felt bad then. I felt that's the only time I've ever felt that I'm getting old.
Had a sudden outbreak of conscience.
I had a conscience and I popped out. Hello, caller. Who is this?
This is Nikki.
Mickey with an M.
Nikki.
Or Nikki.
Nikki with an N as in Nancy.
Nikki with an N. Hey, Nikki from California. How's things going, man?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you very much. What the heck are you doing listening to this rubbish in California?
Oh, we don't think it's rubbish. We don't think it's rubbish at all.
You're
we
incorrect.
love listening to you. We love listening to you. So,
how did you find this though? Because that takes some effort to find this, Nikki.
my best friend Jerry, she found you on Periscope. Is that or something? She found you, and so we started listening.
Hey, nice
and
one.
we just like you a lot.
Thank you
We
very
love you. We just love you.
Whoa, guys, I'm coming. We're going to California, Catherine. We're going to do the show from Nikki's apartment. Have you got a nice house, nice apartment, Nikki?
I've got a nice house, I guess.
Great. We're going to come and do the show there.
No apartment. I'm sorry?
Catherine and I will be over next week and we'll do the radio show from your house.
Oh, you will? Yeah, come over.
All right, we're there. This was easier than I expected. Fine.
You can stay at our house, no problem.
I've got to ask a question. You're not swingers, are you?
No, we're not swingers.
That's a shame.
Oh, well, next time.
We'll find a hotel then. Anyway,
We could be, though. We could be if you wanted us to.
yeah. What did you call it? I heard you mentioning that you read my blog about me being nuts and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we all are.
Yeah.
In our own special way, I think.
I think
but yeah, we're all special in that way.
Yeah.
But I also read the article about your mom. How's she doing? How's your mom?
My mum is
okay?
She's okay. I saw my mum. If it was the article about me doing that silly programme to pay for the care home, that wasn't true. I don't know where that came from. I kind of know where it came from, actually. But that's not true. But she is. But she is in a care home. And she has spent all of her savings and sold her house to pay for it, and now she's got no money, and the council pay most of it, and she pays some of it from her pension. But she's fine. I saw my mum on Saturday. I took her out, and we did some filming for a TV show over here, and she loved it. So she is absolutely well, and she is delightful.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Right. We were worried about her.
Yeah, I was
sad. I was really sad when I.
She's had a bad run of luck in her life. She's not had good luck at all, and she's not even that old. She's 67, and she's been in that care home for probably about 12 years. So she's had a bad run of luck, but she's safe in there, and that's the key thing. And my sister moved back, I guess, to the UK today, after being in New Zealand for 2.5 years. So my mum will get to see my sister soon, and that will make her year.
Very, 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 very good. Very good. Very good. That's good.
Very, very good.
Yeah, so are you guys going to come out here to California and...
Dude, this is...
We're
going to come and hang 10. It's going to be gnarly, it's going to be rad, and do you know what? It's going to be bitchin'.
Oh, wow. Whereabouts in California are you?
Whereabouts? We are in, Anaheim. You know where Anaheim is at?
Yeah,
Anaheim by Disneyland?
Yeah, I do know Anaheim. Anaheim is famous. Of course I know Anaheim. That's like one of the best places in America.
You would think. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. No one thinks. When I lived in London, I hated London, and people go, "Yeah, but it's London." It sucks. Well,
I know.
Do you know what?
Go there.
We are going to. We came to the States last year. We came to New York, and we are at some point this year going to go somewhere. But it might be Florida. San Francisco was an option for a while, but now we can add Anaheim to the list. We can make that work.
Yes.
Okay, but don't hold your breath.
I think you should.
Hey, Nikki, listen, thank you so much for listening. Spread the word in Anaheim. Get us more listeners in California.
Yes, I will. I will.
Nice one. Thanks for calling.
My VFF... I'm sorry, my VFF wants to say hi real quick.
Oh, yeah, go, of course. Go.
Okay. Hi, Ian.
Hey,
Hi, Cap.
Hi.
Who's this?
That's Jerry, right?
This is Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, how's it going?
I'm the one that discovered you guys.
Jerry, you're my favourite out of Jerry and Nikki.
Definitely.
You're my favourite.
I mean, it's a close thing.
So how did you just found us on... you were just, scrolling through Periscope, were you?
Well, actually, you know what? I discovered you a while back because I follow Dr. Hook. And you had an interview with him.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh my gosh, I grew up with Dr. Hook, but I was too young to go to his concert. So then I found out that he was on Twitter, and so I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I heard one time you had an interview with him, and so I go, oh, my God. And you mentioned something about, I don't know about depression or something. I'm a long-time struggler with depression.
Yeah.
And I'm like old school depression, and I'm the one, like, my depression is like I didn't say anything to anybody for the longest time.
Yeah.
And so when I hear you say, like, when you talk about depression, it's like a new world to me because I had to keep it silent, because if you say something back in the day, if you say something to somebody, they just want to throw you in a mental hospital.
Oh, yeah. Give me a bit of lithium, throw you in a mental hospital, and you were weak as well. It was a sign of weakness. But you feel more comfortable and confident talking about it now, do you?
I do, because of people like you. Because for the longest time, I couldn't say anything, And it's so hard because, like when my family, they don't really, like, they say, yeah, okay, but they really don't understand. Like, when I, with my husband, when I married my husband, he didn't know that I didn't tell him I struggled with depression. Yeah. And so for the longest time, he didn't understand. Like, I would go in the garage and cry, and then he would, and I would always keep it hidden, and I would do things, and he would come home and, like, I didn't cook dinner, I didn't clean the house, and he kind of, like, would wonder why. He thought maybe I was just lazy or something. Yeah. But then, so, you know, as years went on, he would see that I would, you know, like, continue crying, and I didn't want to go, and I went to the doctors, and I, you know, did all kinds of stuff, and then they didn't have, like they have now, where they have, like, you mentioned, like, meditation or a psychiatrist. Like, they didn't have that back then when, you know, back then, with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you had to kind of keep it to yourself. And so after a while, it's like, you know, when you say something, people get tired of you keep on saying you have depression. So they were like, well, do something about it. But it's not that easy.
No, it isn't that easy. And people do get bored of you going on about it from time to time. But I think the people that really care don't get bored about it. How are you doing now? Where are you now? How are things now?
Well, I used to take medication, but, you know, I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel any better. I still go through the, like, you know, like I read your article about, you said, it was an article on your website, and you said something about laying in bed all day or being in bed all day.
Yeah.
And I would have to force myself to, like, go to the store. And I'd have to get out of the bed and just, you know, I would have to, like not say anything, just get out of bed, struggle to go to the store, and then when I get back to the store, jump back into bed and just, you know, and just lay there.
But that would count as a massive. That would count as a huge victory.
What, to go to the store?
Getting out, being able to get out and go to the store for me would just count as, like, right, that's a huge victory. Now I can go back to bed for the next 24 hours or something.
Well, the thing is, I was getting forced to go, because if I didn't go to the store, we wouldn't eat.
Okay.
So it was just like, you know, so it's a very, you know what, I don't wish that on anybody. Depression's a very, very bad thing. I mean, it's just, you know, there's times where I would see, like, anything, a bottle of aspirin, and I'm thinking, God, you know, I want to just take that whole bottle of aspirin and drink some alcohol and just lay down, and, you know, and it's funny because, like, sometimes I would be like, well, I want to just end it, but then you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't.
Like, you have thoughts of it, but you don't, you know. It's a very, I mean, like I said, I feel so sorry for anybody that has that, because it's not that simple. It's not that easy to get rid of, because you can take all kinds of medication. You can go to the doctors. You can go to psychiatrists, but it doesn't cure you.
No, exactly. It can help give you a little kickstart, or you kind of maybe gently nudge you in the right direction. But there's a lot of work that has to be done. Hey, listen, I'm so pleased. We haven't called you back. This must be costing them a fortune. I'm so pleased that you've found us and you've called us. You'll call again, won't you?
I will. You know what? It took me a long time to call you because I'm nervous right now.
Yeah, of course.
And I've been listening to you a long time, because I listened to you when you used to have that program that you devoted for depression. It was like a while back.
Oh yeah.
So and I get, like, when I listen to your show for like the 3 hours, it's my what do you call it? It gets me away for the 3 hours.
Hey, nice one, man. Well, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do, is be silly. And the world needs more silly. So we'll have plenty of that. And I'm glad that we can help in a tiny way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for you being there for, like, people like me.
Oh, hey, listen, honestly, I know I can speak on Kath's behalf as well. For us, it's such a thrill knowing that there are people listening to us in California.
Yeah, and that it does something for you.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
It's so you two phoning in is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you.
Take care. We'll speak again soon. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you guys take care. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. They're listening to us in California.
I know, and it's daytime. They have a choice.
They have a choice. And it's having, I don't want to big up our part too much. It's having an impact on their lives.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know if they're watching on Periscope, but hello, both of you. That was wonderful. Call in. We didn't call them back because I was taking calls straight to air. Hello, line 1. Nope, you're too slow. Right. No one's guessed this. So this is the Beatles, one of the most famous Beatles songs played on the Moog. Here we go. What's it going to be? Spooky, some of the spookiest songs. Eleanor Rigby, lives in a dream, Nova Mackenzie, down in the socks and the shocks that he wore by the door. Who is it for? All the bloody Beatles. Where do they all come from? All the bloody Beatles. Where do... Oh, there we go. I couldn't reach that.
Careful now.
Couldn't reach
Come
that.
on.
Couldn't reach that. It's the old...
You know Spooky Lou is taking complete credit for your bad voice.
Sorry? Oh, the witch?
The White Witch.
That was weeks ago she did a
She
hex.
said eventually one of us will get a sore throat and it'll be down to her.
But if we'd have got one in 2032, she'd have gone, yeah, it was me. Dude, you know we've got a dumb button and you're a knob. I don't think that went out. It went out on Periscope. Apologies to the people watching on Periscope. We don't like language like that. Apologies if it did slip out, but I don't think it did. We hate language like that. But I tell you what offended me more about that phone call.
Speakerphone.
He was on speakerphone. If you're going to phone up and swear at me, dude, don't do it on speakerphone. Have the balls to hold it in your hand.
Who's the idiot?
Yeah, exactly. Who's the effing idiot? It really upsets me when that's the best prank call someone could do. He was the idiot I went to earlier, and he was too slow.
He was taking his run up.
He was taking a run up, and it was having on it. I tell you who I googled today. I didn't Google. I Amazoned. And I thought, because I heard a song in the car, and I thought, do you know what? I like this person. And so my obsessive thing is, if I hear a song that I like, I then go and buy their entire back catalogue. And then I thought, I wonder if this person's got a best of, and she did.
And it was?
Pink.
Right, yeah.
I like Pink.
I do.
But then the best of only went up to 2010. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna. Do you want to take that call, Sam, and see? Because I think it might be our friends again. Flu-ridden Pink. I like Pink a lot. Hello, Paul Ross. Come in. What's this?
Ooh.
That's not pink.
What
Well,
have
it
you
is
got?
pink, but it's not. Sam. Can we have that on? And if it's a withheld number, can you call it back, please? Thank you.
And sorry to bust in. I saw Pink a few years ago, many years ago.
Yes.
It's down at... Is this on the, it's the right way, isn't it? Yes. At the Bristol Academy. Took my two oldest daughters.
Yeah.
And it was me, a load of other divorced dads, prepubescent girls, and lots of gay women. And that was the audience. And the dads...
Brixton Academy, that's a small venue
Yeah,
for
but it
her.
was very early on. I think it was
Right.
one of those showcase gigs. And
Yeah.
she was fantastic on it.
Yeah.
But I may be invading your territory today.
No.
I was up at my mother's, Hitchin in Hertfordshire. I bought this in the charity shop.
What is this?
I can't translate it. The track, it's a Japanese late 50s rock and roll female star. I'm going to play a track from it. It's
Oh,
absolutely
mate.
belted.
Grace Chang.
But I cannot translate any of the titles. It's a fantastic, and it was 99 pence in Hitchin Dogs Trust charity shop.
That's Grace Chang. Well, that writing is Chinese.
Is it Chinese?
That writing
Well,
is
two of my daughters read Mandarin, so I can get the translation
Well,
from
yeah,
it.
that writing is Chinese. I know the Japanese use Chinese writing, but I
But
don't
it's-
see any
it's-
Japanese letters on
Except that it sounds,
Oh,
it sounds
mate.
like a Japanese. It sounds like the guy who recorded Sukiyaki.
Oh,
It sounds-
mate,
yeah.
this is treasure.
Well, I'm going to play a track and then I'll leave it for you for tomorrow night.
I love my favourite thing. I love Japan, and I nearly moved there, and then life got in the way. And I
You
didn't.
just stood out of the crowd.
Oh, I know exactly. You can just tower over everyone. But they've got a Tower Records in Japan, still in Tokyo.
Wow.
And my favourite thing, the first night, every time I go there, I just walk in there, and I just look for covers. I look for CD covers and go, right, that one looks interesting. That one looks all right. This looks... And about 50% of them are rubbish. about 20% are all right, and about 30% are spot on. Have become my favourite bands. There's a brilliant Japanese band called Box, and they sound like they're a 90s band, and they rip off the Beatles, and they rip them off so well.
Oh, they're really good.
It's so good.
Like
Box.
Big Star or somebody.
Yeah, kind of. The Temptation Girl by Box is just one of the most uplifting Beatles songs that they never recorded. It's a joy. We've got time for take this quick call. Hello, Sam. You stay there, Paul. You go and get ready. Will you stay whatever you want?
Anything's possible. Anything's true. Anything's real. Anything is anything. Be what you want to be. Be yourself. But be what you want to be. But ultimately, be yourself.
Oh, this is...
And be true to yourself and be real.
Yeah.
Have integrity.
Yeah.
Have honesty.
Yeah, this is wise
At the core of yourself. Know that you are you. And those that aren't you.
Yeah.
And all you can be is you.
Yeah.
But if you want to be something better, something else, then be that something else. But be you ultimately. As you're being someone else, be someone else. But be you, knowing that you are you inside of you, having changed into something or someone else.
Thank you very much. The wise words of Steve Cumberland there.
Combo.
Like Eddie and the Hot Rods, do anything you want to do.
Do anything you want to... Paul, we haven't got time. Just leave us hanging. He will be here in a few minutes. This is Talk Radio. Thank you very much. Ta-ta.